Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles. Chapter 1086. Qin Wentian's immortal sense carried Luo Huan and Qin Yao respectively. His body was trembling slightly. For Immortal Foundation experts, their protective immortal sense would be hidden within their bodies and would only be activated during the most dangerous moments. They would possess a portion of the combat prowess of an Immortal Foundation expert. However, this immortal sense would exhaust the energy and origin chi of the Immortal Foundation expert, and the rate of consumption wasn't small at all. Those who possessed the immortal sense of an Immortal Foundation expert were usually those closest to the Immortal Foundation expert. Luo Huan and Qin Yao could sense Qin Wentian's immortal sense because they were the closest people to him. And now, both of them had encountered such an unforeseen event. How could Qin Wentian not feel pain? "Senior sister, I will ask the Emperor Lord for help. He will definitely be able to treat your injuries." Qin Wentian's immortal sense carried Luo Huan and walked out. His other immortal sense also carried Qin Yao. Qin Yao's injuries weren't too serious, but Luo Huan had to receive treatment as soon as possible. At this moment, the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate were all rushing over. Qin Wentian's immortal sense found an immortal king, and he immediately rushed over to the Immortal Qianbian Gate. And at the same time, Qin Wentian's true self appeared in a certain direction. His immortal sense swept out frenziedly, searching for the people who acted against Luo Huan and Qin Yao. "Seal this entire space!" Qin Wentian roared. A terrifying aura cascaded down from the sky as an incomparably fearsome law might descended, enveloping a radius of 1,000 miles. It was like a golden screen of light, completely sealing this space. "There's someone over there." At this moment, an Immortal Foundation expert pointed to a certain direction. Below, there was a person frantically fleeing for his life, appearing extremely flustered. "Bzz." A group of experts rushed over at the same time, their speed akin to bolts of lightning. The person below was indeed one of the people who acted against Qin Yao. These people seemed to have split up and fled in different directions. Clearly, they knew that if they stayed together, they would be a huge target. Also, the person before them wasn't calm enough. If they were to flee in such a panic, they would be discovered easily. However, under such circumstances, it was hard not to panic. Very swiftly, numerous figures descended from the sky, surrounding that person. In an instant, that person's countenance turned ashen. When Luo Huan's immortal sense appeared, they already knew that things were going to be bad. And as expected, they were surrounded. Qin Wentian's body descended from the sky, and a terrifying killing intent swept out. He stared at his opponent, and his whole body was filled with an icy aura. He said coldly, "Who sent you here?" There were a few Immortal Foundation experts in the Cloud Prefecture city, looking for opportunities to act against his kin. Qin Wentian couldn't believe that they came here on their own. Clearly, there was a power behind them, and there was an 80 to 90% chance that they were from the Dongshengshan Gate. The other party stared at Qin Wentian, and there was a hint of demonic feeling in his eyes. At this moment, Qin Wentian had an illusion that he was about to be transported to another dimension and fall into it. With a flash of light, the other party suddenly launched an attack towards Qin Wentian. Courting death. A dazzling light erupted forth from Qin Wentian as a fearsome might gushed forth. Without the other party's control, the experts in the surroundings all acted, unleashing terrifying attacks. The moment the other party arrived before Qin Wentian, he coughed out blood unceasingly. There were so many experts around him, and the tyrannical might of their attacks seeped into his body. Qin Wentian took a few steps forward, staring at his opponent's eyes. His palm landed on his opponent's chest, and in an instant, a fearsome destructive might gushed into his opponent's body. "Arg!" That person screamed in agony, "Just kill me. Do you want to die so easily?" Qin Wentian's countenance was ice cold. A fearsome destructive might directly blasted into his opponent's Immortal Foundation, causing the other party to scream in agony. "Speak, whose orders are you listening to?" Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with a terrifying light. So what if you know? Qin Wentian, you have offended His Majesty and you still want to live. A look of madness appeared on that person's face as he spoke. Qin Wentian, dealing with you is an order from my master. As long as I can capture you, it would be considered a great merit. In the future, you can just wait to be hunted down. As for whose orders are I listening to, it's none other than my master, the Dream Demon King. Boom! Qin Wentian's palm slammed down once more. Cracking sounds rang out as that person screamed in agony. More and more cracks appeared on his immortal foundation until it finally shattered, completely destroyed. A fearsome sword chi gushed forth from Qin Wentian's palm, ravaging the body of that person. In just a short instant, that person limply laid on the ground. All the meridians in his body were destroyed, and his Yuanfu was destroyed. He had already become a cripple, unable to move at all. Since you like the Cloud Prefecture so much, you can just stay here in the future. Qin Wentian turned and soared through the air. This person had almost humiliated Qin Yao. How could Qin Wentian kill him so easily? He wanted to cripple this person and make him stay in the Cloud Prefecture. Even if he wanted to leave, he wouldn't be able to leave unless he decided to commit suicide. Dream Demon King. Qin Wentian's eyes turned to the horizons as his killing intent surged forth. He naturally remembered the Dream Demon King. Back then when he participated in the 100-year Immortal Banquet at the Dongshengshan Gate, the Dream Demon King was one of the tests. The Dream Demon King allowed him to enter the dreamscape of the Dream Demon King, prying into his secrets. It was extremely dangerous. Although the Dream Demon King seemed to be sleeping, he actually had the ability to kill without anyone noticing. These people in the Cloud Prefecture were actually the disciples of the Dream Demon King. No wonder they had the ability to bewitch others, causing Qin Yao and Luo Huan to listen to their commands. If it wasn't for the fact that little rascal wasn't under their control, the consequences would truly be unimaginable. In the past, among the subordinates of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor, the one Qin Wentian hated the most should be the Deep Flame Immortal King. After that, the Deep Flame Immortal King died in the hands of the White-Robed Immortal King, by Wuya. And now, the Dream Demon King has successfully replaced the Deep Flame Immortal King's position, becoming an Immortal King character that Qin Wentian wanted to get rid of. Sadly, in front of an Immortal King, his strength was still too weak. Young Lord Qin, over there. At this moment, someone called out to Qin Wentian. In another direction, another person was captured. Qin Wentian sped over and discovered that it was none other than the person who made a move against Luo Huan, causing her to commit suicide. Right now, that person was already heavily injured and was lying weakly on the ground. He stared at Qin Wentian with rage in his eyes. It was precisely because of Qin Wentian's immortal sense that his doomsday had arrived. He doesn't even have the strength to commit suicide. Qin Wentian's voice was so cold that it could pierce one's bones. Yes. The people in the surroundings obeyed. Amidst the screams of agony, the immortal foundation of that person was crippled, his meridians were severed and both his arms were crippled. Qin Wentian departed with an emotionless face. Regardless of who it was, since they dared to do such a thing to his loved ones, he would definitely make that person pay the most painful price. In the air, there were many experts. The experts from the Immortal Qianbian Gate were still searching for that person. Young Lord Qin, there's still one person we haven't found. He should be hiding somewhere. Even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground, we have to find him. Qin Wentian's voice was ice cold. The person they haven't found was none other than that senior brother of theirs. His cultivation base was the highest, and he was also the one who acted against Qin Yao and Luo Huan in the tea house. The experts from the Immortal Qianbian Gate started to do a carpet search. In this sealed area, even if the other party had a treasure that could block out immortal sense, he wouldn't be able to escape. However, even after a long time, the entire area had been searched thoroughly but they still couldn't find the person. Qin Wentian furrowed his brows. Is there a possibility that he changed his appearance? Ordinary disguise techniques wouldn't be able to escape the detection of immortal sense. In addition, we didn't find any treasures that could block out immortal sense. Someone replied, maybe earlier, the other party used a treasure that could traverse through space to escape from this space. He wanted to separate from his companion so that it would be easier for him to escape alone. Maybe. Qin Wentian's expression was still as cold as ever. Everyone, please continue to work hard. Young Lord Qin is too polite. This matter happened in a Cloud Prefecture city. Even if young Lord Qin didn't say anything, we would still do our best to search for him. Someone replied. All the experts began to expand the search radius of the Cloud Prefecture city. However, after an entire day, they still couldn't find anyone. In the vast Cloud Prefecture city, if a person intentionally wanted to hide, it would be extremely difficult to find them. Naturally, everyone understood that the other party must not be having a good time now. He must be hiding in fear and trepidation. If he was the slightest bit careless and was captured, only death would await him. It was impossible for the Cloud Prefecture city to restrict the airspace forever. Qin Wentian also understood that since they couldn't find him on the first day, it would be even more difficult to find him later on. Qin Wentian first returned to the Immortal Qianbian Gate. In the Monarch Palace, the Emperor of Qianbian brought Luo Huan and Qin Yao along as they appeared before Qin Wentian. Upon seeing his senior sister Luo Huan smiling at him, a radiant smile also appeared in Qin Wentian's eyes. Your senior sister's injuries are slightly more serious. Luckily, her cultivation base is still weak and it isn't too hard to save her. I've already helped her reconstruct her meridians. As for your sister, there aren't any major problems. Emperor of Qianbian spoke. Many thanks, Emperor of Qianbian. Qin Wentian bowed to the Emperor of Qianbian, feeling extremely grateful. Outsiders might think that the Emperor of Qianbian was his master, but he himself understood that the Emperor of Qianbian had no relationship with him. Since the Emperor of Qianbian was willing to help him, Qin Wentian naturally wouldn't feel that it was a given. He was filled with gratitude in his heart. No worries. Emperor of Qianbian shook his head. Senior sister, Sister Qin Yao. Qin Wentian walked to the front of Luo Huan and Qin Yao, feeling as though he was about to cry tears of joy. Luckily, they were fine or he would definitely feel guilty. Little brat, your senior sister didn't even lose a piece of flesh. What are you looking at? Luo Huan giggled, as cheerful as ever. You will know after a hug. Qin Wentian hugged Luo Huan and Qin Yao. The two of them rolled their eyes, but their beautiful eyes were filled with smiles. All right, the Emperor of Qianbian is here. Qin Yao spoke in a low voice. Qin Wentian released the two of them, only to see Luo Huan and Qin Yao bowing to the Emperor of Qianbian. Emperor of Qianbian, we are eternally grateful for your life-saving grace. The Emperor of Qianbian waved his hands, as he stared at Qin Wentian. Wentian, although nothing happened this time around, you have to be more careful in the future. I'm sure you understand that as long as the Dongshengshan Gate isn't destroyed, something like this might happen again. Qin Wentian nodded his head, hating himself for being too weak. Emperor of Qianbian, I wish to head to the front lines. Qin Wentian spoke, his words causing the eyes of the Emperor of Qianbian to flicker. The Dongshengshan Gate has a total of 7 prefectures, while my Immortal Qianbian Gate has a total of 6 prefectures. During these few years, there have been countless wars, and the main reason for the war is at the border of the 13 prefectures. That place is extremely dangerous. Do you really want to go there? Qin Wentian nodded. He could temper himself on the battlefield. Chapter 1087. Upon seeing Qin Wentian nodding, the Emperor of Qianbian stared at him as he slowly spoke. The battlefield isn't like the Cloud Prefecture, it's a leisurely place. The slightest carelessness would result in death. Wentian, if you step onto the battlefield, you will be treated equally and you will have to accompany the troops to battle. Right now, your strength is still weak and you have no merits to show. I can't be biased and allow you to lead an army. Do you understand? I'm willing to start from the bottom. Qin Wentian solemnly spoke. Since he had decided to step onto the battlefield, he would naturally follow the rules of the battlefield. Fine, you will head to the border between the Thunder Prefecture and the Jing Prefecture. Yuan City is a place where our troops are stationed and battles are frequent there. The people of the Dongshengshan Gate have always wanted to use that place to break through, continuously whittling down the number of Immortal Foundation troops of our Immortal Qinbian Gate. After that, they would seize the opportunity to take over the Thunder Prefecture. Right now, Yuan City is under the control of the Dream Demon King and the situation is extremely disadvantageous to us. You have to be careful when you arrive there. The Emperor of Qinbian spoke. Qin Wentian nodded. Wentian understands. Make your preparations. We will set off a month later. The Emperor of Qinbian spoke. Right. Qin Wentian bade farewell and retreated, bringing Luo Huan and Qin Yao with him as they left the Emperor Palace. Wentian, are you really preparing to go to the battlefield? Qin Yao pulled on Qin Wentian's arm as she asked. Although she had never seen the battlefield of immortals before, she knew how powerful Immortal Foundation experts were. Just thinking about it, one could already imagine how terrifying it would be. The Dream Demon King is also there. He would definitely bring his disciples and grand disciples along. I naturally have to go. Qin Wentian's countenance turned cold. Sister Qin Yao, Sister Luo Huan, the one who acted against you too is none other than the disciple of the Dream Demon King. Little brat, you have to be more careful when you go to the battlefield. Don't act recklessly. Luo Huan rolled her eyes at Qin Wentian. Yes, senior sister, Qin Wentian answered honestly. It's good that you know. Accompany Qingqing for these few days and we will temporarily let you off. Luo Huan laughed. The two of them separated from Qin Wentian. Only little rascal was still following behind Qin Wentian. We're going to separate again. Qin Wentian sighed. During these 7 years, he didn't leave Qingqing's side at all. When he roamed the particle worlds, he would always be together with Qingqing, living a carefree life. However, in the immortal realms, parting was a common thing. In fact, many people would be separated by life and death. Hence, for those with good talent, they would only find Tao companions and have children after they reached the immortal king realm. Qin Wentian returned to his residence and told Qingqing about this matter. Qingqing, who had already woken up, naturally wouldn't obstruct Qin Wentian. She smiled at Qin Wentian. Go ahead, I will do my best in cultivation. After the baptism of the sacred luminance, I feel that my body is much stronger than before. I will definitely be able to step into the immortal realm like you sooner or later. Qin Wentian cupped Qingqing's face with his hands and smiled. You have to work hard then. I won't wait for you. Who needs you to wait? Who knows, I might even surpass you. Qingqing smiled sweetly. Is that so? I'm filled with anticipation then. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a bright light. He stared at Qingqing's perfect face, not moving his eyes at all. Qingqing blushed from his stare as she asked in a low voice, what are you doing? I'm thinking, my wife is already so perfect and flawless now. If she stepped into the Immortal Foundation realm and became an immortal maiden, how beautiful would she be? Wouldn't she be mesmerizing to death? Qin Wentian had a look of contemplation on his face, his words causing Qingqing to smile as she stared at Qin Wentian. That's right, you should cherish this miss well. Okay, I will cherish you well right now. Qin Wentian stretched his hands out and embraced Qingqing, before carrying her into the room. Qingqing screamed in shock and struggled, but how could she be compared to Qin Wentian? She could only wrap her arms around Qin Wentian's neck as her beautiful eyes stared at him, filled with tenderness and shyness. That soul-stirring countenance caused Qin Wentian's heart to pound. "Qingcheng, you are so beautiful." Qin Wentian spoke in a low voice. Mo Qingcheng's face turned even redder as she buried her head into Qin Wentian's embrace, hugging him tightly. In the depths of their love, they were unable to extricate themselves. A month later, Qin Wentian, Jun Mengchen, Zi Qingxian, Purgatory and Little Rascal brought the military documents of the Immortal Qianbian Gate and arrived at Yuan City. Yuan City was located at the border of the Thunder Prefecture. Outside of it was a stretch of desolate wilderness and there was also a Yuan River. This Yuan River was said to be 100,000 miles long, separating the Thunder Prefecture and the Jing Prefecture. In the past, the Dongshengshan Gate governed the 13 prefectures. The Thunder Prefecture and Jing Prefecture were divided by the river, not interfering with each other. But now, the Emperor of Qianbian controlled 6 prefectures. The Thunder Prefecture and Jing Prefecture became enemies. The Dongshengshan Gate gathered a terrifying army of immortals and stationed them at the border of the Jing Prefecture, constantly launching probing attacks against Yuan City. This battlefield has already lasted for several years and the border between the two cities became a burial ground for immortals. Many mortals below the Immortal Foundation realm have already moved away in case they were affected by the shockwaves of the battle. However, there were still some immortals who stayed behind, wanting to take a look at this immortal war that lasted for many years. Right now, the governor of Yuan City was Governor Niu. Everyone referred to him as General Niu. He was a powerful immortal king character and as for his real name, not many people knew of it. In the general residence, Qin Wentian saw this General Niu. He was 3 meters tall and had a huge physique. His entire body seemed to be filled with explosive power. Even though he was wearing a long robe, one could still see the outline of his muscular body. Also, Qin Wentian could easily sense the aura of the Heavenly Talisman realm from him. This General Niu was a disciple of the Heavenly Talisman realm and would definitely be extremely powerful. The Dream Demon King was a famous general under the Dongxing Heaven Emperor. The fact that General Niu was stationed here meant that he was fighting against the Dream Demon King. If he wasn't strong enough, the Dream Demon King might even kill him. If he killed the commander of the enemy forces, was there even a need for this war to continue? General. Qin Wentian passed the jade slip given to him by the Emperor Qianbian to General Niu. He didn't refer to General Niu as senior brother. This place was a battlefield and General Niu was the commander. General Niu glanced at the jade slip before casting a deep glance at Qin Wentian and the others. After that, he nodded his head and spoke, "Men, come." As the sound of his voice faded, a person walked over. General Niu spoke to this person, "Make arrangements for them, arrange them to be under the command of a certain centurion." "Roger." That person acknowledged. He then turned to Qin Wentian and the others, "Follow me." "Right." Qin Wentian nodded and followed the other party to where the army was staying. Although this was a battlefield, the place they were staying at was still not bad. There was a long stretch of buildings that stretched as far as the eye could see. "Yi Qing." The person leading Qin Wentian and the others came to a courtyard and called out. Very swiftly, an Immortal Foundation expert clad in flaming armor walked out. Her figure was voluptuous and her features were elegant. Although she couldn't be considered a supreme beauty, she was still quite good-looking. Clad in armor, she exuded a valiant aura, exuding a majestic aura. "I pay my respects to the military supervisor." Yi Qing bowed. "Captain Yi, I will leave these fellows to you." That military supervisor pointed to Qin Wentian and the others as he spoke. Yi Qing glanced at Qin Wentian and the others before nodding, "Yes. You guys can follow Captain Yi." The military supervisor spoke. Qin Wentian and the others nodded. Yi Qing brought them into the courtyard. There were individual rooms inside. Many people walked out and asked, "Captain, are there new people?" "There are actually beauties." A person's eyes gleamed with light as he stared at Zi Qingxian and Purgatory. Yi Qing was already quite beautiful, but Zi Qingxian and Purgatory were even rarer beauties. Restrain yourself. Yi Qing glared at that person. That person immediately replied, "Yes, Captain." "What are your names?" Yi Qing asked. "Captain, my name is Tianwen." Qin Wentian spoke, using an alias on the battlefield. After all, his status in the Immortal Qianbian Gate wasn't low. If these people were from the core of the Immortal Qianbian Gate, they would all know of his name. He didn't want to enjoy special treatment, and secondly, he wanted to prevent the people from the Dongshengshan Gate from taking special care of him. If that was the case, he would be in an extremely miserable state on the battlefield. "My name is Jun Mengchen. My name is Zi Qingxian. Purgatory. My name is Little Rascal." Little Rascal spoke in a baby-like voice, causing a smile to appear on Yi Qing's face. Little Rascal was so adorable. However, she still maintained a straight face. "Tianwen, your cultivation bases are all very low. On the battlefield, don't be a burden to your comrades. Now, I will get the others to coordinate with you guys to familiarize yourselves with our battle formation." "Yes, Captain." Qin Wentian nodded in agreement. Someone leaned against the wall and spoke in a lazy tone, "Captain Yi Qing, the cultivation bases of these people are too low. Even if they join the battle formation, they wouldn't be of much use. There's no need to waste everyone's time. How young, since Tianwen and the rest have joined our team, there's a need for them to familiarize themselves with the battle formation. On the battlefield, there might be deaths at any moment. If they join the battle formation, it would be even more dangerous." Yi Qing coldly spoke, not polite at all. "Yes, Captain." Hao Young nodded, but there was still a look of disdain in his eyes. "You guys go and find a place to stay first. After that, gather at the drill grounds." Yi Qing spoke to Tianwen and the rest. Qin Wentian and the rest nodded. Their immortal senses swept out, and after that, they headed towards a courtyard. Jun Mengchen smiled. "Captain is a heroine among females. Although she isn't as beautiful as senior sister Qingxian, she has a unique sense of beauty." "Lower your voice." Qin Wentian glared at Jun Mengchen. "Hee, but everyone seems to feel that our cultivation bases are too low." Jun Mengchen mumbled. "This is an immortal war. The weakest among us are all Immortal Foundation experts. Don't you think our cultivation bases are too low? Let's face reality and perform well on the battlefield." Qin Wentian spoke. "Understood." Jun Mengchen felt anticipation in his heart. In the drill grounds, many experts gathered. There were over 100 of them, and there were even some who mumbled, Captain, the overall strength of our team is already weaker. Now that there are newcomers, why didn't the army overseer send more powerful people to join us? Fellows with such a cultivation base wouldn't be able to increase the overall strength of our team." "Shut up. If you have the time, think about how to survive on the battlefield." Yi Qing berated. "I know. But I'm afraid that those fellows wouldn't even be able to last a single battle. What a pity, there are still 2 beauties among them." These people discussed. They were happy that there were beauties joining them, but their cultivation bases were too low. This caused them to feel depressed. It would be great if there were a few powerful ones joining them. With that, the combat prowess of their team would increase, reducing the chances of them dying. The weaker a team was, the higher the chances of them dying on the battlefield. Chapter 1088. On the drill ground, Qin Wentian and the others were familiarizing themselves with the battle formations. There were many types of battle formations. For their 100-man team, there was also a 10,000-man battle formation. Using square formations as the foundation, they could form an extremely powerful 10,000-man battle formation, exuding boundless might. However, there were no actual 10,000-man battle formations here. Only Qin Wenqian's 100-man team was here. The comprehension abilities of immortals were all very high. As long as they understood how a battle formation worked, they would be able to unleash their full potential. The battle formation of the Immortal Qianbian Gate was known as the Ox Head Battle Formation. It was an extremely powerful battle formation passed down by General Ox and had boundless might. Tianwen, Jun Mengchen, how do you guys feel? After the battle, everyone stopped. Yi Qin asked Qin Wenqian. Captain, there's no problem. Qin Wenqian replied. For a combined battle formation, there was no need for the individual to be too strong in the Tao of formations. If not, how could everyone form a formation? Jun Mengchen and the others nodded. Yi Qin continued, this battlefield is extremely dangerous. Don't leave the city if there's nothing important. You guys might be hunted by the enemy at any time. If there's no battle, you guys should cultivate yourselves or spar with others to raise your combat prowess. Do you understand? Yes, Captain. Jun Mengchen replied in a loud voice, causing Yi Qin to glance at him. Jun Mengchen grinned. Little fellows, the battlefield isn't a joke. Be more serious or you might lose your life at any time. An older middle-aged Immortal Foundation expert persuaded. My name is Xiao Yihan, I'm your vice-captain. Where are you guys from? We come from the Cloud Prefecture City, the Immortal Qianbian Gate, Qin Wenqian replied in a low voice. Yo! The eyes of everyone flickered as they turned to Qin Wenqian. Xiao Yihan also spoke, you guys are from the Immortal Qianbian Gate, but why were you sent to our team? Captain Xiao, what do you mean by this? Qin Wenqian curiously asked. You don't know. Captain Xiao stared at Qin Wenqian as he laughed involuntarily, seems like the few of you are unimportant disciples. You don't even know this? In the army, there aren't that many from the Immortal Qianbian Gate. You guys aren't from the Immortal Qianbian Gate? Jun Mengchen started, he had thought that they were from the Immortal Qianbian Gate. There's an army of 100,000 Immortal Foundation experts on this battlefield and this is only one of the many battlefields. The 1,000 Transformations Immortal Sect can't be compared to the Eastern Sage Immortal Sect. The Eastern Sage Immortal Sect has many years of foundation and has established many armies. The ones who came here today are none other than the Dream Demon army of the Dream Demon King. But even so, the Eastern Sage Immortal Sect would still recruit people to fight for them. No way, Captain Xiao, are you still willing to join the battle? Jun Mengchen asked. Brat, are you really stupid or are you pretending to be? Xiao Yihan glared at Jun Mengchen and said, or are you a disciple of a famous sect? I'm an unaffiliated cultivator, if I want to obtain cultivation resources, I have to depend on myself or join a major power. Also, if you aren't from the direct line of descent, even if you join a major power, you still have to depend on your contribution points to exchange for cultivation resources. Unless you are a supreme genius, you might as well come to the battlefield and use your contribution points to exchange for cultivation resources. Right now, I'm at the 7th level of Immortal Foundation. Do you know how terrifying the amount of cultivation resources I need to break through to the 8th level and perfect my Immortal Foundation? To me, this is an astronomical figure. Without any fortuitous encounters, the fastest way is to obtain battle merits on the battlefield. Of course, there are many powerful people who, in addition to fighting for battle achievements, temper themselves at the same time. There are even some people from aristocratic families who will enter the battlefield to train themselves, improving themselves in life and death situations. True experts all desire to constantly temper their own combat strength, making themselves stronger. Xiao Yihan solemnly continued, and as for me, I've always wanted to become an Immortal King character, establishing a major power and becoming a sect leader. However, this goal is a little difficult. Qin Wenqian stared at Xiao Yihan. Although Xiao Yihan had the appearance of a middle-aged man, his age shouldn't be young. Most probably, he was at least a few thousand years old. His eyes flashed with the vicissitudes of life. Indeed, the vast majority of the people he met in the immortal realms were all geniuses. Because he himself was a genius, he didn't see those ordinary people who struggled hard. Everyone had their own life experiences, and who didn't experience wind and frost on the path to becoming an expert. For those who were satisfied with their current situation, they could simply head to a weaker particle world and become a hegemon. But if you want to grow stronger, you can only continue fighting hard in the immortal realms, fighting together with experts. Wouldn't it be easy for spies to sneak in? Zi Qingxian asked in a low voice. So what? A person at the side spoke. When the war starts, there will be immortal kings supervising the battles. Characters at the immortal king level wouldn't be able to attract the attention of others. They are all from the immortal Qianbian gate or the Dongshengshan gate. Would you dare to kill your own people? Immortal kings would instantly kill you. As for wanting to rebel within the army, are you tired of living? Indeed. Qin Wentian nodded. This is the first time the few of us are participating in an immortal war. How would it be conducted? With immortal kings around, wouldn't Immortal Foundation experts be unable to withstand a single strike? This is just like the Dongshengshan Gate and the Immortal Qianbian Gate. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor and the Emperor Ox would definitely have roughly the same level of strength. If not, the Dongxing Heaven Emperor wouldn't have ceded 6 prefectures. However, they wouldn't interfere in the war between the two or they would die together. It's the same for immortal wars as well. The strength of the Dream Demon King and General Ox would definitely be roughly the same, but neither of them would be able to defeat the other. If not, there would be no need for the war to continue, they could just directly kill the commander of the other party. Xiao Yihan explained. Hence, the immortal wars in the immortal realms all have strict rules. When immortal kings clash, immortal emperors are not allowed to interfere. When armies of Immortal Foundation experts clash, immortal kings are not allowed to interfere. If not, the Immortal Foundation experts of both sides would all die. If the Immortal Foundation experts of the other side are annihilated, the Immortal Foundation experts of both sides would have to fight. If the Immortal Foundation experts couldn't win, the Immortal Foundation experts wouldn't need to fight. What about those who broke the rules and killed Immortal Foundation experts? Jun Mengchen asked. That would be killing for the sake of killing. If one side did so, wouldn't the immortal kings of the other side enter the territory of the other side to hunt their Immortal Foundation experts? By doing so, the eyes of both sides would be filled with killing intent. In the end, no one would be able to control the situation. Xiao Yihan continued, experts who could cultivate to the Immortal Emperor realm are all very arrogant. They wouldn't dare to violate the rules. In addition, both sides would have some trepidation in their hearts. Naturally, if there are extremely important people in the other side's army, it would be a different story. Understood. Many thanks for Captain's guidance. Qin Wentian clasped his hands. Seems like he still had to disguise himself when he entered the battlefield. If not, he might be recognized by the immortal kings of the Eastern Sage Immortal sect. Who knows, they might act to kill him. Right now, he was someone that the Eastern Sage Immortal sect had to kill. A battlefield is a battlefield, the rules are very strict. Even enemies have to follow the rules. Jun Mengchen shook his head. This is the immortal realms and the participants are all immortals. There would naturally be rules and no one would engage in a massacre. Back then, the Emperor of Qianbian asked the Dongxing Heaven Emperor for the 6 prefectures. Those who saw this scene from afar all felt their hearts trembling as their souls trembled. This scene was too impactful. An army of 100,000 sped out of the city, causing yellow sand to fill the air. They advanced in an orderly fashion and there was some distance between them. After all, this was an army of immortals. Once a battle broke out, they would need space. Up ahead, a terrifying storm of aura could be felt gushing over. Everyone knew that this was the army of the Dongshengshan Gate. Both sides would definitely have scouts that could predict the movements of the other side in advance. If not, it would be very easy for them to fall into a passive situation. Also, these scouts might have been hiding in the city of the other side, pretending to be ordinary people. Chapter 1089. From afar, the silhouette of a giant also appeared in the air. This giant was tens of thousands of meters tall and was incomparably terrifying. He seemed to be in a deep slumber in the air, quietly lying there. This was none other than the dream demon Immortal King. The Dongshengshan Gate also had an army of 100,000 immortals. The experts from both sides stared at each other from afar as they all halted their advance. The terrifying might exuding from the two armies truly felt like the end of the world. It was too terrifying. An army of 200,000 stood on this boundlessly vast land. Not only that, they were all immortals. Qin Wentian, Jun Mengchen, Purgatory, Zi Qingxian and the others were all within the army. However, other than wearing the armor of the immortal Qianbian Gate, they were also clad in unique divine armors. These armors were obtained by Qin Wentian from the Battle Saint tribe. When they wore them, their auras would be masked, only immortal light could be seen circulating around them. At the same time, they also had malevolent-looking masks on their faces that had the ability to block out immortal senses, preventing others from seeing their facial features. As for Little Rascal, he transformed into a ferocious white tiger mount. His size caused Yi Qin to look at him in a new light. However, she didn't say anything about Qin Wentian and the others dressing up like this. Within this army of 200,000, regardless of whether it was the army of the Dongshengshan Gate or the army of the immortal Qianbian Gate, there were countless of such people who hid themselves. This was a war between immortal sects. What if they were targeted by others for revenge? Even in Yi Qin's team, there were many such people. It was just that Yi Qin was a little surprised that Qin Wentian and the others were so cautious. "Captain, how do we calculate the military merits?" Jun Mengchen asked Yi Qin. "Do you see the immortal kings beside General Niu? There are immortal kings supervising the battle. Their immortal senses can scan the entire battlefield and imprint the scenes in their minds. They would know how many enemies you have killed." Yi Qin spoke. Jun Mengchen inclined his head and indeed, there were several immortal kings beside General Niu. Immortal kings were incomparably powerful, their immortal senses could scan the entire battlefield and they could analyze countless scenes in an instant. A single immortal king was sufficient to calculate the military merits. The entire army is fighting, even immortal kings are mobilized. General Niu is personally supervising the battle. Xiao Yihan sighed. "Brothers, be careful. This is the first time we are experiencing such a large-scale battle. Seems like you guys have recruited many new troops." The Dream Demon King was still in slumber, but his voice rang out in the minds of everyone. However, a bunch of weaklings actually dared to start a war against the army of my Eastern Sage Immortal sect to gain merit points. Today, let me warn all of you that there are some things you can't do. If you do, you have to be prepared to pay the price. The Dream Demon King's voice was filled with coldness, causing the hearts of the crowd to tremble. "Stop trying to bewitch me." General Ox spoke, his voice was incomparably resounding through the sky. Immortals of the immortal realms are all focused on the path of cultivation. If they don't temper themselves through life and death situations, how can they break through? Isn't it a good idea to use the blood of your Dongshengshan Gate army to pay tribute to the path of true experts? Boasting shamelessly. Today, I will make sure you remember this battle. The voice of the Dream Demon King rang out once more. Beside the Dream Demon King, another immortal king grew in size as he spoke. "Flame Army, step out." As the sound of his voice faded, a troop of 1,000 soldiers walked out from the Dongshengshan Gate's army. These 1,000 soldiers were all clad in flaming armors. The dark flames around them were extremely terrifying. This army belongs to the Deep Flame Immortal King. After the Deep Flame Immortal King died, the Deep Flame army under him was distributed to the various Immortal Kings. Right now, there is only one of them and their combat prowess is extremely high. It can be considered a trump card. Yi Qing's expression turned heavy. The Eastern Sage Immortal sect directly sent out the Flame army to fight. If the Immortal Qinbian Gate agreed to it, they would need to send out a troop of 1,000 soldiers. If not, it would mean that they didn't dare to fight and would weaken their morale. They are all elites at the higher levels of Immortal Foundation. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Seems like this was a troop of 1,000 soldiers specially selected to deal with the Immortal Qinbian Gate. Mad Bull Army, step out. Beside General Ox, the general who was supervising the battle roared. A moment later, a troop of 1,000 soldiers stepped out and stepped onto the battlefield. Both sides stepped out and stopped in the middle of the two armies. The figures of the Mad Bull army were all ferocious, exuding an aura of savagery. This was a troop of trump cards specially selected by the Immortal Qinbian Gate. They were extremely powerful and all of them had beast-type astral souls. Similarly, the Flame army all had fire-type astral souls and were proficient in the power of flames. This was a troop formed by experts with similar abilities, able to unleash their strongest might. Get into formation. The military governors from both sides roared. In an instant, the 1,000-man army got into formation. A terrifying heat radiated from the Yen army as a 30,000-meter-long fire dragon appeared, blotting out the sky. Even the yellow sand on the ground was scorched red. It was an extremely terrifying sight. Roar! A thunderous roar rang out. The Mad Bull army got into formation and released their beast-type astral souls. An incomparably ferocious 10,000-meter-long demonic bull appeared, exuding a baleful aura. Kill! Yen Jun launched his attack. The terrifying fire dragon, which shone with a dark luster, swooped over, wanting to destroy everything in its path. The raging bulls roared, and the sky changed color. Demonic chi transformed into a tempest, and numerous raging bulls galloped in the air. The sky was filled with the sounds of violence as the bulls were trampled on and charged towards the fire dragon. Even though they were being burned by the raging flames, they did not fear death and rammed into the fire dragon. The might of an army in formation is truly terrifying. Qin Wentian's heart trembled as he stared at the tyrannical battle between the two armies. The Black Fire Dragon was tyrannical, while the Mad Bull army attacked with all its might. But even so, the Mad Bull army was still in a disadvantageous position. However, the experts in the formation were all extraordinary individuals. They frenziedly unleashed their immortal energy to resist the pressure. The formation couldn't be broken. Retreat. Finally, the governor of the Dongshengshan Gate gave the order to retreat. Ultimately, they still couldn't defeat the Mad Bull army. Return to the troops. The experts from the Immortal Qinbian Gate commanded. The Mad Bull army returned to the troops. Life and Death 9, step out. The governor of the Immortal Qinbian Gate commanded. A moment later, 9 experts walked out from the troops of the Mad Bull army. These 9 people all had sharp expressions and exuded extraordinary auras. Qin Wentian turned his gaze onto one of them as his expression instantly turned cold. One of them was actually the person who acted against Luo Huan and Qin Yao. As expected, he was the disciple of the Dream Demon King. He actually managed to escape to this battlefield. Truly extraordinary. He truly wanted to rush out and put on the puppet armor of the Battle Saint tribe to kill this person. But this was a battlefield, he knew that he mustn't be impulsive. Since this person was on the battlefield, he would take his life sooner or later. Qin Wentian discovered that these 9 people had a total of 9 levels, from the first level to the 9th level. Each level was a different level. Captain, is this also a challenge? Qin Wentian asked. One person for each level. This is a form of challenge. We have to send out 9 people to accept the challenge or we would be cowering, weakening our morale. Before the battle starts, we have to determine a victor through the challenge. This time around, the Dongshengshan gate is too overbearing, they must have come prepared. Yi Qing spoke. In addition, this is a life-and-death battle. Only the survivor can leave the battlefield. In that case, it's impossible for the 9 of us to fight to a draw. One side would definitely win. Qin Wentian spoke in a low voice. Yes, the closest scenario would be 5 wins and 4 losses. There would definitely be a victor. Xiao Yihan spoke. A single battle to determine life and death. The victor shall live, the loser shall die. Who wants to fight? In the air, the military governor of the Immortal Qianbian Gate roared. Loser, die. Winner, 1 low-grade battle merit. Low-grade battle merit could be exchanged for immortal-ranked weapons. On the battlefield, one had to kill 10 experts of the same level, or 100 experts of a lower cultivation level, or 3 experts of a higher cultivation level. Only then would 1 low-grade battle merit be awarded. I want to fight. Numerous figures stood out. Instantly, there were hundreds of experts of various cultivation levels who wanted to fight. There were no lack of experts who came here to temper themselves, all of them thirsting for battle. Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen walked out at the same time as they shouted, I'm willing to fight. The eyes of Yi Qing and the others flashed as they stared at Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen. These 2 fellows were truly audacious. For the sake of battle merit, they even wanted to participate in a life-and-death battle. The military governor swept his gaze over and started to select the participants. Finally, his gaze landed on Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen. And the 2 of you. Fight. Yes. The 9 of them accepted the order and moved towards the battlefield. Do your best, survive. Yi Qing transmitted her voice to Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen. Qin Wentian turned his head and glanced at Yi Qing as he nodded. Don't worry, Captain. Jun Mengchen waved his hands as he spoke with confidence. The 9 participants who stepped out were all at different levels of cultivation. They walked towards the opponents of the same level as them. Qin Wentian fought against a second-level Immortal Foundation expert. Jun Mengchen fought against a first-level Immortal Foundation expert. Qin Wentian glanced at the Dream Demon King's disciple. The person who captured Qin Yao and Luo Huan was a 7th-level Immortal Foundation expert. His strength was definitely terrifying. Start the battle. A loud voice rang out. Both armies were incomparably solemn as they stared at the battlefield. The auras of the 18 participants gushed forth as many experts instantly started fighting. Facing Qin Wentian, there was a young man with a devilish expression on his face. He laughed malevolently, hiding your identity. Are you afraid of settling scores with us later? Daring to participate in an immortal war against my Dongshengshan gate, do you think you can still survive? Qin Wentian's eyes didn't look at his opponent. Instead, he was staring at the other battles. As expected, the strength of the Dream Demon King's disciple was extremely powerful. His demonic aura caused his opponent to be in a predicament. For this battle, he wouldn't die, he would definitely win for sure. Qin Wentian really wanted to kill his opponent. But when 2 armies fought, there were naturally rules. Even immortal kings couldn't violate them. If he dared to violate the rules, the immortal king in the air would instantly kill him. The opponent stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian actually had the time to admire the battles of others. This caused an expression of interest to appear on his face. This fellow was simply courting death. He was the disciple of an immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate and was chosen to participate in this Battle of the 9. For this Battle of the 9, they would definitely win for sure. Chapter 1090. Qin Wentian didn't care about the thoughts of his opponent. He continued to spectate the battle. Among them, other than him and Jun Mengchen, there were two other disciples from the heavenly talisman realm. Evidently, the immortal king didn't choose randomly. Although it seemed like he was selecting people from the army, he had his own plans. The other two disciples from the heavenly talisman realm should be able to win, they should already have the upper hand. He and Jun Mengchen had no problems. In that case, they only needed to win one out of the remaining 5 battles. However, the Immortal Qianbian Gate was prepared. The Dongshengshan Gate was prepared as well. All 9 of their opponents were elites, and for the remaining 5 battles, the victor was already very clear. The Immortal Qianbian Gate would definitely lose, and the other 2 battles were still in a stalemate. Since you wish to spectate the battles, I will accompany you. Qin Wentian's opponent spoke, glancing at the other battles. Jun Mengchen wasn't in a hurry to battle. He could easily take down a first-level ascendant with no effort at all. Why was there a need to be so anxious? Roar! A thunderous roar rang out from the Immortal Qianbian Gate. So it turned out that there were already people on their side who had defeated their opponent. This person was none other than a disciple from the heavenly talisman realm. However, an instant later, the Dongshengshan Gate's army roared in madness. They had also won 1 battle. Very swiftly, the score became 2 wins and 4 losses. The roars from the Dongshengshan Gate grew louder and louder, shaking the heavens and earth. As long as they won 1 more battle, they would be the victors. Other than Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen, only the last 2 were still frenziedly battling. We have to win. The people from the Immortal Qianbian Gate silently mused. If they were defeated again, the victor would already be decided. Even if the other 2 were to win, it would be useless. Yellow Sand billowed, the disciple from the Immortal Qianbian Gate coughed out a mouthful of blood. Crimson runes appeared on his palms as he allowed his opponent to land a palm strike on his body. In an instant, a blood-colored light filled the sky as his opponent screamed in agony before vanishing from this world. Roar! The Immortal Qianbian Gate roared in unison. There was still a sliver of hope. Yi Qing and the others looked at the battlefield and found that only Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen were left. They couldn't help but feel nervous. You must win against these 2. Xiao Yihan said. I'm afraid it doesn't bode well. Hao Yang said, you've just entered the battlefield and you don't know anything, yet you dare to be so bold. If you lose, you'll be a sinner, and even death won't be enough to atone for your crimes. Hao Yang! Yi Qing shouted. Hao Yang shut up and didn't say anything else. What caused the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate to freeze was that Qin Wentian didn't even bother to dodge. He stood there in a daze. Was he scared silly by the overwhelming might? Did he know that he would die for sure? Trash! Hao Yang cursed in a low voice. The people of the Immortal Qianbian Gate were all stunned. The palm imprint had already landed on Qin Wentian's body, seemingly about to shatter Qin Wentian. Boom! The palm imprint landed, enveloping Qin Wentian's body. The people of the Dongshengshan Gate all let out thunderous cheers as their morale surged, celebrating this instant victory. The people of the Immortal Qianbian Gate, on the other hand, were completely silent. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian's armor suddenly shone with resplendent immortal light. That imposing aura caused everyone to sigh in admiration. Qin Wentian's entire body was enveloped by the immortal light. His body seemed to be indestructible. Such a terrifying force actually couldn't break through his defenses. How can this be possible? The cheers of the Dongshengshan Gate abruptly stopped. How could Qin Wentian's defenses be so strong? Even if he was wearing an immortal weapon that could weaken the impact, he should still have been flung away. That attack had landed on his body with full force. You are so weak. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. He stretched out his hand as a black-colored palm imprint blasted into his opponent's chest. Qin Wentian had a perfect physique and was tempered by God's hand. How could a mere immortal king's disciple break through his defenses? How ridiculous. His opponent was struck by Qin Wentian's palm. His immortal foundation shattered as his body was flung through the air. After that, he slammed into the ground as destructive immortal energy circulated around him. He died. His opponent was the same as Jun Mengchen's battle, insta-killed. Fight. The army of the immortal Qinbian Gate let out a heaven-shaking roar, causing Qin Wentian's soul to tremble. That aura was simply too terrifying. Qin Wentian won 2 rounds consecutively and both times were insta-kills. At this moment, the morale of the immortal Qinbian Gate's army reached the peak, firmly suppressing the morale of the army of the Dongshengshan Gate. Let's return. Qin Wentian and the others returned. The sound of cheering was deafening. Yi Qing stared at Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen as she smiled, awesome. Beautifully done. Xiao Yihan also praised. Everyone in the team gave a thumbs up to Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen. At this moment, Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen could finally be considered to have truly integrated into this team, gaining their recognition. My apologies for the matters in the past. Hao Yang apologized to Qin Wentian and Jun Mengchen. Qin Wentian nodded his head, he didn't mind these people's opinions of him. He wasn't so petty. It's just a battle of 9, a single defeat doesn't mean anything. Many of you are elites of the Dongshengshan Gate, while the others are also heroes of our Eastern Sage 13 prefectures. But these people are merely a motley crew that was formed at the last minute. They need battle merits to obtain cultivation resources. Destroying them is as easy as flipping our palms. The voice of the immortal king from the other side rumbled, rousing the morale of the army. A moment later, the experts of the Dongshengshan Gate also roared. A defeated general actually dares to speak such words. Since you all want to fight, how can the 100,000-strong army of my immortal Qinbian Gate be afraid of you? Let's fight. The immortal king from the immortal Qinbian Gate also roared. In an instant, both armies radiated a terrifying might, engulfing the heavens and earth as they advanced forward. Formation. Formation. The immortal kings from both sides commanded from the air. Although they wouldn't directly participate in the battle, they could still command the troops. The experts of the Dongshengshan Gate formed different battle formations. There were the Flame Dragon battle formation, the Dream Demon battle formation, the Frenzied Python battle formation, etc. As for the immortal Qinbian Gate, there was only a single type of battle formation, the Ox Divinity battle formation. 10,000 people formed a formation, transforming into an incomparably gigantic ox divinity that could destroy everything. The auras of the heavens and earth gushed forth, creating a scene of destruction. Yellow sand swirled about, transforming into a fearsome tempest. How terrifying was the aura of an army of 200,000. Only when Qin Wentian was in the middle of the battlefield did he truly feel how terrifying the battlefield was. Qin Wentian was only a part of the battle formation. At this instant, he could clearly feel how tiny and insignificant he was. Although he was a 9th-level Immortal Foundation expert, he was still an insignificant part of the army of 20,000. Both armies clashed against each other. The battle formations unleashed their attacks as everyone in the army unleashed their immortal energy, infusing it into the formation. The strongest among them controlled the operation of the formation. With a thunderous boom, Qin Wentian's entire body shuddered violently. Just a single strike was enough to shatter the heavens and earth, causing the earth to split apart. Qin Wentian's battle formation was fighting against a devil battle formation. Under the continuous collisions, the immortal energy of everyone was being consumed at a terrifying rate. Many people were even injured from the impact. After another heaven-shaking collision, the battle formations of both sides directly pierced into the enemy's formation. Instantly, countless people were flung through the air. Both sides were armies of 10,000 and they instantly fell into the enemy's formation, causing their battle formations to crumble apart. Since the battle formations have crumbled, use the 100-man battle formations as the foundation and continue fighting. Don't panic. The immortal king in the air commanded. The might of a small battle formation far surpassed an individual's strength. Everyone, gather together and get into formation. Yi Qing spoke. Qin Wentian and the others instantly gathered, and according to the drill, they instantly formed a demonic ox battle formation with Yi Qing as the core. Everyone's immortal energy was infused into the battle formation, congregating on Yi Qing's body, allowing Yi Qing to control them. The chaotic battlefield was filled with attacks unceasingly, but they were all blocked by the battle formation. This was the advantage of a battle formation. But at this moment, before Yi Qing and the others, a powerful battle formation appeared. A gigantic devil was controlled by a peak-level Immortal Foundation expert. It was extremely dangerous. A gigantic devil palm blasted out as a terrifying corrosive law energy gushed over. Yi Qing controlled the battle formation to block it. The demonic ox battle formation shone with a resplendent immortal light, yet it was being corroded by the gigantic devil palm. Chapter 1091. Resplendent flames erupted from the demon ox formation as they slashed out with their flaming swords, aiming for the body of the demon. However, the demon directly used his hands to block the flaming swords, corroding them bit by bit. The body of the demon blasted out once more as the corrosive green light enveloped the demon ox formation. Every beam of green light was incomparably sharp, directly piercing into the demon ox formation. Yi Qing unceasingly controlled the demon swords, causing a storm of flames to envelop the body of the demon ox, clashing against the corrosive green light. Yi Qing isn't suitable to control the demon ox formation. Qin Wentian was in the middle of the battle formation and could clearly see the battle between both parties. Although Yi Qing was very strong, the energy she was proficient in didn't seem to be compatible with the demon ox formation. Also, the innate techniques of the demon ox formation were all based on Yi Qing. Everyone's energy was used to form the demon ox formation, ultimately transforming it into a gigantic demon ox. This energy was actually unleashed by Yi Qing. This was supposed to be a demonic and wild power, but Yi Qing's forte leaned towards dexterity. Although she was very strong and had a lot of battle experience, she was still in a state of being suppressed by the demon's attacks. Captain, your strength isn't enough to unleash the full power of the demon ox formation. Qin Wentian spoke. The eyes of everyone flashed as someone asked, Tianwen, what do you mean by that? Saying such words at this moment would definitely shake the morale of the troops. I'm thinking if I can control this battle formation. Qin Wentian brazenly spoke. Yi Qing's beautiful eyes flickered as she stared at the battle. Right now, she was indeed in a suppressed state. Her opponent's devil battle formation was extremely powerful, and its corrosive properties were extremely strong. The person controlling the battle formation was able to unleash the full power of the formation, completely suppressing her. Tianwen, although your combat prowess is high, our captain is the strongest among us. Even if we have to change our captain, it should be Captain Xiao. Stop messing around. Someone at the side berated. This fellow was simply too ridiculous. We can try. But at this moment, Yi Qing actually spoke. Her brazen idea caused everyone to be startled. Their captain actually agreed to Qin Wentian's crazy idea. Qin Wentian, who was at the second level of Immortal Foundation, would be the one controlling the formation. This battle formation gathers everyone's strength to transform into a demonic bull, possessing the terrifying might of a greater demon. If Tianwen is proficient in offense, he should be able to unleash the tyrannical might of the demonic bull. It's indeed worth a try. Xiao Yihan also spoke, supporting Qin Wentian's idea. Both captains agreed. Bang! A violent sound of collision rang out. They were all knocked back as cracks appeared on their battle formation. Yi Qing roared in rage. Instantly, a fearsome immortal might transformed into a demonic bull that galloped towards his opponent, blocking his opponent's battle formation. Tianwen, change! Yi Qing roared. Qin Wentian's silhouette flickered as two beams of light flashed. Qin Wentian and Yi Qin actually swapped positions. Qin Wentian was now at the center of the battle formation, gaining control over it. In an instant, Qin Wentian had a strange feeling. He was the soul of this battle formation. The gigantic demonic bull was controlled by him, and all its energy was under his control. The comprehension abilities of immortals were extremely high, and their adaptability was even stronger. In an instant, Qin Wentian felt that he had already adapted to the control of the demonic bull formation. Chi! A terrifying whistling sound rang out. An extremely corrosive green spear shot out from the body of the devil, directly piercing towards the demonic bull, instantly penetrating through the immortal light surrounding it. Careful! Xiao Yihan reminded Qin Wentian. Boom! Qin Wentian's aura erupted forth. At this instant, he had a feeling that the power of the demonic bull formation was circulating according to his own strength. The demonic bull howled in rage. An ancient halberd that glowed with a dark golden light appeared. Violent, wild, and destructive, it clashed together with the green spear. Instantly, a destructive shockwave danced in the air as both sides crumbled apart. Beautiful! Xiao Yihan praised. He could sense the attributes of Qin Wentian's strength. There was a tyrannical destructive attribute, a tyrannical suppressive attribute, and a wild demonic attribute. The power of the demonic bull formation was infused with these attributes, causing the attacks it unleashed to be even more violent. It was truly more suitable than Yi Qing's. A cold snort rang out from the devil formation. Countless green pythons appeared in the air, looking extremely malevolent as they lunged towards the demonic bull, wanting to devour it. Qin Wentian's countenance was calm, the energy in his body erupted forth frenziedly. The entire demonic bull formation shone with resplendent runes, transforming into an indestructible fiend god body. The demonic bull howled in rage, shaking the heavens and earth. Numerous terrifying demonic dragons appeared, wanting to devour everything, clashing against the green pythons, directly devouring them as they rushed towards the body of the devil. In the surroundings of the two battle formations, there were many other formations that were engaged in a terrifying battle. However, all of them were actually fighting in an orderly manner. This was the fearsome combat quality of an immortal army, they were able to remain calm in the face of danger. Roar! The demonic bull let out another heaven-shaking howl. Numerous demonic bull phantoms manifested, glowing with a golden light as they frenziedly rushed towards the body of the devil. Qin Wentian's palms manifested, the demonic bull abruptly slammed out, slamming into the body of the devil, causing the devil formation to tremble violently. The Immortal Foundation experts within the formation were all stunned. What's going on? Their opponent actually became stronger after changing. Their countenances were all unsightly to behold. The person who changed was none other than the person who had the best killing blow in the life and death battle earlier. That person was wearing a mask. Qin Wentian didn't give his opponents any chance to catch their breaths. He blasted out yet another attack. Demonic dragons shook the skies, wanting to destroy everything. The gigantic palms of the demonic bull also slammed out unceasingly, wanting to annihilate everything. At this moment, the demonic bull transformed into an ox demon king, standing tall in the air. It had a humanoid form but had a pair of horns and an incomparably gigantic demonic palm. Rumble! A thunderous sound rang out as the devil formation collapsed. At this instant, the gigantic palm of the demonic bull slammed down, instantly killing over 10 people. Without the formation, it was simply a one-sided battle. Flee! Those people fled in the direction of the other battlefields. The demonic bull's palms crushed everything, frenziedly slaughtering those who died, causing the people in the battle formation to be in a daze. With Qin Wentian controlling the battle formation, it was actually several times stronger compared to Yi Qing. Qin Wentian glanced at the battlefield. Battle formations clashed against each other, and those whose formations were destroyed would find others to fight against. In this vast battlefield, there were experts dying unceasingly. These people who died were all immortals. On the battlefield, the lives of humans were the most worthless. In a war between immortals, the lives of immortals were similarly worthless as well. They died unceasingly. These characters who could become hegemons in a particle world were like weeds being harvested. If you didn't kill your opponent, you would be killed. Tianwen, if you can reach the peak level of Immortal Foundation, you would be invincible on the battlefield, becoming a killing god. Plundering military merits would be as easy as taking something from your pocket. Xiao Yihan laughed. This was the first time they obtained such a great victory, completely defeating their opponents and killing more than half of their opponents. All the battle merits would be counted to their team. Tianwen, let's kill the enemies. Everyone spoke. Qin Wentian nodded his head. The gigantic humanoid ox demon shone with a resplendent light, growing stronger and stronger. It was like a true fiend god body, and every step it took caused the heavens and earth to rumble. It was unknown how terrifying the might it exuded was. With a single stomp, several experts from the Dongshengshan Gate were trampled to death. A dazzling light pierced the eyes of everyone. The other battle formations could feel how dangerous this battle formation was. Qin Wentian controlled the ox demon and slaughtered its way into the crowd, unleashing powerful attacks. Demonic qi engulfed the heavens and earth as destructive might swept through everything. It was like a god of death, killing a single person with a single strike. The battle formation was on the verge of collapse after a few clashes. Not long after, under the control of Qin Wentian's ox demon formation, there were already 400-man battle formations that crumbled apart. Hundreds of experts died in their hands. Such an achievement caused everyone in the group to be extremely excited. Only now did they recall the situation when Qin Wentian first arrived. Seems like Qin Wentian and the others were truly the direct descendants of the Immortal Qianbian Gate and came here to temper themselves. If not, how could all of them be so powerful? Jun Mengchen defeated his opponent with a single punch. Qin Wentian allowed his opponent to attack him without budging, before killing his opponent. Right now, he was controlling the battle formation, transforming into a demonic god. However, the Berserk Ox Demon formation controlled by Qin Wentian also successfully attracted the attention of the Dongshengshan Gate. Two battle formations appeared before Qin Wentian and the others. At the same time, there was another battle formation rushing over, wanting to encircle and annihilate Qin Wentian and the others. Not good, we've become the target of everyone. Xiao Yihan's eyes narrowed. Although Qin Wentian was very strong and the power of his battle formation had reached another level, he still couldn't withstand the encirclement and annihilation of the battle formations. If a few battle formations attacked at the same time, it would be very tragic. However, at this moment, the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate also saw this scene and rushed over. For a moment, with Qin Wentian's battle formation as the center, the army pressed over, as if it had become the gathering point of the storm. The demon ox demon controlled by Qin Wentian became even more dazzling, released to the extreme, as if it was wrapped in a light screen, just like Qin Wentian himself, it had terrifying defensive power. Kill! With an explosive roar, a battle formation rushed over. It was a sword formation, and a gigantic sword slashed down, piercing into the resplendent light screen. However, the speed of the sword was reduced as it sank deeper and deeper into the light screen. The demonic ox's roar shook the heavens as a wild and savage aura engulfed the heavens and earth. The fist of destruction blasted onto the gigantic sword, shattering it. Tens of thousands of swords shot out at the same time. Countless gigantic swords rushed over. Suddenly, a towering sword might surged from the demon ox battle formation and struck forward. The swords devoured the heavens and earth, clashing with the gigantic swords. Chapter 1092. The demonic ox battle formation roared. The experts from the other battle formations discovered that the body of the demonic ox was still expanding. In an instant it expanded to 10 times its original size, resembling a true ox divinity. Boundless runic armor covered its body, giving it the body of a demon god, undying and indestructible. From the side, a tyrannical demon battle formation blasted over, slamming into the light screen, yet it was blocked by the runic armor. The experts in the battle formation were all incomparably shocked. Kill our way over. The experts from the Immortal Champion Gate rushed over when they saw so many battle formations surrounding the demonic ox battle formation. Qin Wentian controlled the ox battle formation as an incomparably violent demonic palm imprint blasted out. This palm imprint contained an incomparably savage aura, directly wanting to engulf the entire battle formation. With a thunderous boom, 100-man battle formation of the Dongshengshan Gate was shattered. The experts in the formation all coughed out blood as their countenances turned pale. However, when Qin Wentian attacked, because his body was too gigantic, he also suffered from many tyrannical attacks, causing the blood and qi of the experts in the formation to fluctuate. Also, Qin Wentian's control of the battle formation caused the energy of their immortal foundation to be depleted at an extremely rapid rate. Some of those with weaker cultivation bases already faintly felt that the immortal energy in their immortal foundation was insufficient to sustain the battle. The other battle formations of the Immortal Champion Gate all rushed over. With Qin Wentian's battle formation as the center, chaos ensued. The battle was extremely violent and the casualties were extremely heavy. Immortal Foundation experts fell one after another, causing the hearts of everyone to tremble. Boom, boom, boom. Qin Wentian stepped out step by step. The gigantic ox unceasingly blasted out a heaven-shaking might. It was unknown how many battle formations were destroyed in his hands. The number of experts from the Dongshengshan Gate who died in this battle formation had already reached over 1,000. This was simply terrifying. This was equivalent to 1 killing 10, and it was still continuing. However, there were people in the Demon Ox battle formation who wanted to continue fighting. They had never been so awe-inspiring before. This time around, the battle merits belonged to their entire team. Each of them would at least be able to obtain low-grade battle merits. However, some people were already running out of strength. Because the demonic ox battle formation Qin Wentian controlled was extremely powerful, the Immortal Champion Gate also had a great advantage in this battlefield with Qin Wentian at the center. They slaughtered their way into the heart of the enemy army and slaughtered many experts. It could be said to be a great victory. However, compared to the battlefield where Qin Wentian was at, the other places were losing time and time again. Many of the Dongshengshan Gate's troops were well trained, including the Nightmare Demon Army and the Flame Army under the command of the Deep Flame Immortal King. All of them were extremely powerful. Looking down from the void, one could see that the entire battlefield was very unfavorable for the Immortal Champion Gate. Qin Wentian and the others had charged into the heart of the enemy, and it was also very dangerous. There were already many strong cultivators there, and Qin Wentian and the others would be trapped inside. One person's combat power seemed to be strong enough to control the entire battlefield of 100,000 soldiers. The eyes of that military governor flashed. He stared at Yi Qing's team and spoke, "Yi Qing's team, retreat." He already discovered that many in this battle formation had already exhausted their immortal foundation energy. If they continued fighting, their formation would collapse and they would fall into the heart of the enemy army. Only death awaited them. Qin Wentian instantly made a decision and rushed towards the back, preparing to retreat. Although he didn't have the time to pay attention to the battlefield, he also understood that this battle wasn't in their favor. Immortal Champion Gate's army, get into formation and retreat. Don't panic. The military governor commanded again. On the battlefield, the troops of the Immortal Champion Gate formed a 100-man formation and retreated step by step. Their movements were extremely stable and there were no signs of panic at all. Although it was clear that they were on the losing side, they still retreated in an orderly manner. This was simply an immortal war. Unless their formation was completely destroyed, they would only flee in panic. The military governor of the Dongshengshan Gate didn't say anything. Their army knew what to do and they continued to launch ferocious attacks, crushing their opponents. The momentum of the entire battlefield gradually shifted to their side. Their opponents were forced to retreat again and again, they only needed to chase after their enemies. The Dongshengshan Gate's army continued to slaughter their way into the heart of the retreating Immortal Qianbian Gate army, not fearing death at all. However, at this moment, a bright light flashed as two large-scale 1,000-man battle formations suddenly appeared within the retreating Immortal Qianbian Gate. With a roar of rage, they lifted their hands and destroyed the Dongshengshan Gate's army that was chasing after them. "Get into formation, don't panic," the military governor of the Dongshengshan Gate roared. However, the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army continued to attack, wanting to stop their retreat. It was as though they wanted to engage in a decisive battle with the Dongshengshan Gate's army, killing many of their enemies. "Stop the pursuit," the military governor of the Dongshengshan Gate roared. A moment later, the army halted as both sides split up, forming an orderly formation. The Immortal Qianbian Gate army was still retreating, but the Dongshengshan Gate army didn't continue their pursuit. Instead, they got into formation. Earlier, the pursuit had caused them to suffer heavy casualties. They didn't want to fight like this. "Retreat," the military governor of the Immortal Qianbian Gate roared. A moment later, the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate retreated. Dust billowed as sand filled the air. This battle of 200,000 troops had come to an end. The Dream Demon King was still sleeping like a giant. A voice suddenly rang out in the minds of everyone, "Clear the battlefield, retreat." The experts of the Dongshengshan Gate army felt their hearts trembling. From the sound of this voice, it seemed that the Dream Demon King wasn't very happy with the situation. This time around, they sent out an army of 100,000. They were prepared to destroy the Immortal Qianbian Gate army in a single move. Even if they couldn't do so, they wanted the Immortal Qianbian Gate to pay a heavy price, forcing them to retreat from Yuan City and slowly devour the Thunder Prefecture. However, after such a terrifying battle, they didn't seem to have too much of an advantage. Although they obtained victory, they didn't achieve the desired effect. If they continued to pursue, their Dongshengshan Gate army would also suffer heavy casualties. If that was the case, it would be impossible for them to occupy Yuan City and devour the Thunder Prefecture. One could only say that to both sides, this battle was a defeat. Only after the Immortal Qianbian Gate army retreated far away did they disperse their battle formation. Many of them heaved a sigh of relief, feeling extremely fatigued. Many of their immortal foundations were almost depleted, maintaining the battle formation was simply too taxing on their immortal energy. However, the moods of everyone were somewhat depressed. They suffered heavy losses in this battle and were the defeated side. The strength of the Dongshengshan Gate army was clearly stronger than them. "Tianwen, well done. If it wasn't for you, we would have been in danger this time around." Xiao Yihan stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. This battle was a clash between 200,000 strong, it was extremely dangerous and there were many casualties. If it wasn't for Qin Wentian replacing Yi Qin to control the battle formation, it was highly possible that they would have died as well. It wasn't easy for them to survive such a huge battle. "That's right, Tianwen, it's all thanks to you this time around." Everyone stared at Qin Wentian. Before this, they had some misunderstandings about Qin Wentian, thinking that he was a newbie with no battle experience. They didn't expect him to be so powerful, consecutively contributing to the battle. During the 9-man life and death battle, Qin Wentian unleashed a fatal strike to boost the morale of the army. After that, he disrupted the battlefield and even affected the flow of the battle. Although he had no way to control the entire battlefield, he was still extremely powerful. "We are the ones who implicated Tianwen." Yi Qing suddenly spoke, her words causing the eyes of everyone to flash. Xiao Yihan fell silent for a moment before he added, "Indeed, if we were in the elite battle formation, with Tianwen controlling the formation, the might of our battle formation would be even more terrifying. We would be invincible and invincible." Tianwen, given your performance today, you can even be transferred to the elite battle formation. Why don't I apply to the army supervisor? Yi Qing stared at Qin Wentian as she spoke, her words causing the eyes of everyone to flash as they stared at their captain. Captain! Someone called out. Their captain was too selfless. If such an expert stayed in their team, it would be considered a huge contribution and would be able to play a huge role on the battlefield. Yet, their captain actually allowed Qin Wentian to join the elite battle formation. Let's talk about this later. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Everyone could already see the city gates of Yuan City. After returning to the barracks, they counted the casualties as well as the battle merits. Qin Wentian's team had achieved top-grade battle merits, causing the members of Yi Qing's team to be extremely happy. With top-grade battle merits, they could exchange them for extremely abundant resources and even peak-grade immortal weapons. Tianwen, the battle merits are all yours. You can use them to exchange for rewards. I don't think anyone would have any objections. In the training grounds of the barracks, numerous teams were gathered together. Yi Qing spoke to Qin Wentian. There were some who agreed, but there were also some who didn't say anything. Qin Wentian knew that some people would be unhappy if he said this. In addition, he wasn't lacking in such things. He shook his head. Captain, go and collect the rewards and distribute them to everyone. I don't lack them. Seems like you are a core disciple of the immortal Qianbian Gate. Xiao Yihan spoke. At this moment, a group of people walked towards Yi Qing's team. Yi Qing glanced at them and transmitted his voice to Qin Wentian and the rest. They are from the elite battle formation. What's your name? The person in the lead stared at Qin Wentian, who was still wearing a mask, as he asked. Tianwen. Qin Wentian replied. Our battle formation is made up of elites. Do you want to join? I can request for you from the military inspector. The other party spoke. My senior brother is going to join the elite battle formation. Can the authority to control the entire battle formation be passed to him? Jun Mengchen asked. No way. Although his performance in this battle was outstanding, he still has to work hard step by step. The members of our elite battle formation are all at the upper 3 levels of Immortal Foundation. It's already an exception for Jia Na. The authority to control the battle formation cannot be passed to him. That person shook his head. Jun Mengchen's lips twitched, feeling somewhat unwilling. Qin Wentian smiled. No need, I'm fine with this team. You really don't want to consider? That person asked. No need. Qin Wentian shook his head. That person didn't say anything more and brought his men away. You shouldn't have rejected. Yi Qing bitterly smiled. The elite battle formation was made up of elite experts. It's nothing. Qin Wentian smiled. I still have some friends who are rushing over. At that time, we can form the strongest elite battle formation. However, they didn't dare to disobey the orders of the Eastern Sage Immortal Emperor and the Violet Emperor. In the depths of the ancient mountain, within the Immortal Palace, the bronze gate slowly opened as a figure wearing a bronze mask walked out. His immortal sense extended into the distance, but he didn't discover anyone. He then returned to the bronze gate, and not long after, he led a group of experts out. These people all had extraordinary auras and were all wearing masks. They didn't say a single word and directly sped towards the exit. When he was about to reach the outside of the ancient mountain, the bronze-masked figure suddenly stopped. He actually began to carve a matrix on the ground. He brought out a spatial treasure in his hand, infusing the matrix with powerful spatial energy. He could even see the exit. Although the ancient mountain was sealed by a mysterious power, he could still use spatial energy to leave through the exit. There are immortal kings outside. After we teleport out, I will seal our auras. You guys follow me and don't wander around recklessly. If not, with the immortal sense of an immortal king, even if we teleport very far away, we would still be discovered. The bronze-masked figure spoke. Everyone nodded, yes, Saint Lord. Also, when we are outside, don't refer to me as Saint Lord. Qin Wentian instructed. They stood within the formation and at the same time, a sealing energy gushed forth from him, isolating their auras. An intense spatial light flashed as a beam of light shot out, shooting towards the horizon. Outside the ancient mountain, many Immortal Foundation experts were bored out of their minds. All of a sudden, a spatial fluctuation could be felt. After that, they only saw an intense beam of light shooting out, instantly vanishing before their eyes, as though it had never existed before. Not good, spatial teleportation. Those people exclaimed in shock. After that, a terrifying might gushed forth as a figure hidden in the shadows directly soared up into the air, exuding the might of an immortal king. His immortal sense frenziedly swept out, enveloping the entire area within his immortal sense. Nothing. That immortal king swept his gaze over. He then stepped out and instantly vanished from his original location. Nothing, nothing. That immortal king's silhouette flickered, his countenance extremely unsightly to behold. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor asked them to guard this place for 7 to 8 years, and when they finally came out, the other party actually managed to escape. How was he going to explain this to the Dongxing Heaven Emperor? In fact, right now, no one knew the identity of this immortal king. In the future, as long as this immortal king removed his mask, it would be extremely difficult to find him again. The youngest son of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor, Dongxing Ting, died just like that? Most probably, the immortal emperor would definitely be enraged. In Yuan City, there were some elites who invited Qin Wentian, but they were still rejected by Qin Wentian. Right now, the attacks launched by the Dongshengshan Gate were getting more and more intense, and they would often send out their elites to attack. There were a few times when Qin Wentian and his troops had no way to defend against the other party's Immortal Foundation experts. Hence, the Dongshengshan Gate had already started to treat Qin Wentian and his troops as elites. Today, the Dongshengshan Gate sent out tens of thousands of troops to attack again. The Immortal Qianbian Gate also sent out a similar number of experts. They didn't send out their entire army because everyone knew the movements of the other party. If the other party sent an army to surround them, the Dongshengshan Gate would directly retreat and mock the Immortal Qianbian Gate. This was meaningless, they might as well accept the battle directly. The Immortal Qianbian Gate suffered another defeat. When Qin Wentian and the others returned to the camp, Xiao Yihan cursed in a low voice, right now, the pressure from the Dongshengshan Gate is getting tighter and tighter. We don't have enough elites to defend against them. Many of the troops from the Dongshengshan Gate were originally trained by them. Now that they are sent to the front lines, our combat prowess is naturally at a disadvantage. Most probably, the next wave of attacks won't be far away. Yi Qing spoke. MHM, I can sense it as well. The Dongshengshan Gate will most probably launch an all-out attack soon. Qin Wentian nodded. Just as they were speaking, the sound of a war horn rang out once more. However, this time around, it wasn't the horn for the entire army to move out. Instead, it was the horn for the entire army to gather. All the soldiers immediately rushed to the military field, only to see the military governor Immortal King appearing there. He then spoke in a clear voice, the previous battle at the Dongshengshan Gate was the vanguard. Right now, their main army has split into two, preparing to launch a pincer attack on us from 3 different directions. The attack this time around will be even more ferocious compared to the frontal attack earlier. The Dream Demon King has given a death order, not allowing his army to retreat. He has to take us down no matter what. A pincer attack from 3 different directions. Seems like they have sealed off all their paths of retreat. The eyes of everyone flashed. This was an immortal war, a pincer attack from 3 different directions. Once the battle erupted, both sides would clash head-on. It would be extremely difficult to retreat, hence they could only fight. To all of you, the victor of this battle would be the victor, the loser would be the king. At the same time, this battle is also a good opportunity for you all to obtain battle merits. Do you all have the confidence? The military governor Immortal King's voice rumbled out. Everyone roared in unison, "Fight!" Good. Now, I will assign the battle strategy. Charge straight into the heart of the enemy and launch a frontal attack on their elite forces. If Yuan City falls, we will seize their Han City. That military governor Immortal King roared, his words causing the hearts of everyone to tremble. What a crazy plan. Did they want to gather the strength of the entire army to annihilate the main force of the enemy forces before charging into Han City? Since the battle strategy has been decided, the entire army should move out immediately. If not, the enemy forces would adjust their formation as well. The various armies moved out, but there were still many battle formations that remained on the drill ground. Among them, the battle formation Qin Wentian was included. Yi Qin just heard the voice transmission, telling her battle formation to stay behind. The others all stared at Yi Qin as they called out, "Captain. There's a special mission assigned to us." Yi Qin spoke. After that, everyone no longer spoke. They knew that the military would send out some powerful battle formations to carry out special battle strategies. They didn't expect that it would be their turn. Wait, the other battle formations aren't elite battle formations. They are all ordinary ones. Everyone felt bewildered. They had been in the military for a long time and naturally had a good understanding of the various battle formations. At this moment, the army supervisor appeared, bringing a group of experts with him. He glanced in Qin Wentian's direction as he spoke. The 36 experts here will be assigned to your battle team and will take on the role of captains. In addition, you will be in charge of controlling the entire battle formation. Do you all understand? Yes. The hearts of everyone were filled with bewilderment. However, this was a military order and they had to obey it. No one would dare to defy it. That would be a great crime. Jun Mengchen and Zi Qingxian, step out. The two of you will also be assigned as captains to control the operations of the battle formation. That military governor spoke. Yes. Jun Mengchen and Zi Qingxian walked out. Over here, there were a total of 39 battle formations. Right now, Jun Mengchen and Zi Qingxian also had to take charge of a battle formation. They originally already had the ability to do so. Now, the 39 battle formations will be an independent army under the command of Tianwen. Everyone has to obey his commands. Those who disobey will be killed. The military governor spoke in a booming voice, his words causing the gazes of everyone to turn to the armored figure of Qin Wentian. Seems like they had still underestimated the identity of this fellow. He must be a descendant of a major character from the Immortal Qianbian Gate. Before this, they allowed him to adapt to the battlefield and now, they finally allowed him to control an army. Chapter 1094. 39 battle squads advanced majestically, heading towards the battlefield. Yuan City was already surrounded on both sides by the army and was currently heading towards the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army camp. However, the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army was heading towards Han City in the Jing Prefecture, gathering all their forces to seize Han City. An immortal war was different from a war between mortals. In an immortal war, everyone was an immortal, they wouldn't attack the city gates. They could easily enter the city and occupy it. However, the main purpose of an immortal war was to destroy the enemy and not to occupy the city. This was meaningless. If the enemy's army was strong, they could still seize the city back. Immortal wars were always a test of strength. The Dong Xingxian Gate didn't take down the city, they were here to destroy the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army. This was also the reason. As long as they destroyed the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army, they wouldn't even need to take down Thunder Prefecture, it would be theirs. In the immortal realms, whoever was stronger would have the authority to govern. The Immortal Qinbian Gate directly gave up on Yuan City and charged towards the front. They wanted to avoid the encirclement of the enemy. General Niu knew that the Immortal Qinbian Gate was at a disadvantage in terms of combat strength. That was why they chose to focus on the front. At this moment, several hundred miles away from Yuan City, the Immortal Qinbian Gate's army had already arrived, clashing with the Dong Xingxian Gate's elite army. A heaven-shaking battle was currently going on. This Dong Xingxian Gate's army occupied more than half of the Dong Xingxian Gate's army. There were actually 50,000 of them. In addition, all the elite troops were gathered here, resisting the Immortal Qinbian Gate's army. Those troops from Yuan City were also rushing over. Hence, although occupying the Dong Xingxian Gate seemed to be advantageous, it was actually extremely disadvantageous. Once they failed to break through the defenses of the Immortal Qinbian Gate within a short period of time, what awaited them would be an encirclement from three sides. At this moment, an intense light suddenly flashed in the air as a gigantic spatial light screen appeared, blinding the eyes of those who saw it. In the air, in several locations, there were actually armies of over 5,000 soldiers. Each of these armies were definitely elite troops and they were all teleported here using spatial energy. They had long been prepared for this battle, wanting to annihilate the Immortal Qinbian Gate in one fell swoop. At this moment, the Immortal Qinbian Gate had already broken through the supreme grand battle formation of the Dong Xingxian Gate. However, their own grand battle formation had also crumbled. Both sides fought fiercely in a small-scale battle, resulting in endless casualties. In the air, the 5,000 elite troops of the Immortal Qinbian Gate slaughtered their way over. Each and every formation was extremely powerful, akin to a Devil King's battle formation, exuding boundless might and invincible might. In the air, the military governor of the Immortal Qinbian Gate had an extremely unsightly expression on his face. Their elite battle formation was currently fighting against the elite battle formation of the Dong Xingxian Gate. Yet, these 5,000 elite troops were like tigers charging into a flock of sheep, instantly tearing apart the Immortal Qinbian Gate's formation, causing the internal forces of the Immortal Qinbian Gate to be in a state of panic. If this continued on, it would be impossible for them to break through the defenses of the Immortal Qinbian Gate in a short period of time. Most likely, it wouldn't be long before the encirclement of the Immortal Qinbian Gate arrived. No wonder the army of the Immortal Qinbian Gate didn't retreat when they encountered them. So it turned out that they were long prepared. Seems like this time around, the Dong Xingxian Gate was determined to annihilate the army of the Immortal Qinbian Gate stationed in Yuan City of the Thunder Prefecture. As long as the Immortal Qinbian Gate's army was annihilated in this battle, their morale would surely suffer a heavy blow. In the future, if they wanted to recruit more troops, the Immortal Foundation experts of the Thunder Prefecture would have to think twice. After all, with the history of their army being annihilated, who would still dare to join the Immortal Qinbian Gate to fight against the Eastern Sage army? The situation was extremely disadvantageous to the Thousand Transformations Immortal sect. Their formation was already in a state of chaos, and they frenziedly slaughtered their way in. The army of 5,000 continued to slaughter their way into the inner regions of the Thousand Transformations Immortal sect. Within a short period of time, over 10 smaller formations were destroyed, and thousands of Immortal Foundation experts were killed. If this continued on, the Thousand Transformations Immortal sect would definitely lose. From afar, a group of experts sped over. These people were none other than Qin Wentian and the others. Before this, they had already seen the Dong Xingxian Gate using a spatial teleportation technique to teleport over. Qin Wentian knew that the situation was bad and they increased their speed, finally arriving at the battlefield. Kill, annihilate that army of devil cultivators. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. The army that arrived later was none other than an army of the Devil Path. This army was led by the undefeatable Devil King, a general of the Eastern Sage Immortal sect. All of them were extremely powerful devil cultivators and cultivated the Devil Path. Qin Wentian himself also killed his way into the crowd. The chaotic army behind had expressions of excitement on their faces when they saw Qin Wentian and the others rushing over. Right now, Qin Wentian's battle formation was already very well known to the people of the Immortal Qianbian Gate. It was extremely powerful. In a short instant, Qin Wentian controlled the battle formation and arrived in front of a devil formation. With a lift of his palm, his opponent abruptly turned and roared. Devil palm imprints filled with towering might as they blasted over. With a thunderous boom, the two gigantic palm imprints collided with each other, causing the heavens to collapse and the earth to shatter. The eyes of those in the devil formation flashed. This battle formation actually wasn't at a disadvantage when it collided with them. With a loud roar, Qin Wentian's battle formation grew incomparably huge. The demonic ox expanded, staring down at the heavens and earth as it roared, "All of you, continue to attack. Leave these devil cultivators to us." A dazzling light flashed around the body of the incomparably gigantic demonic ox. It was like a demonic ox king as it blasted out a demonic dragon's might, smashing into the enemy's battle formation. A devil king's body blasted out from the devil formation, causing the heavens to collapse and the earth to crack. Immortal energy surged wildly. Roar! The demonic ox let out a heaven-shaking roar. Both its palms slashed downwards, containing boundless divine light, capable of splitting the heavens apart. There seemed to be demonic dragons dancing within its palms as they blasted downwards, shattering the devil spears and the devil bodies. The ox's palms were unstoppable as it continued on its way towards the enemy battle formation. His opponent roared as numerous devil spears shot out. However, the demonic ox's palms were filled with spiraling demonic dragons. In an instant, tens of thousands of demonic beasts roared as they rushed out, tearing apart everything as they blasted into the gigantic body of the devil. Rumbling sounds rang out as the enemy battle formation collapsed. The experts within were all so badly shaken that they coughed out blood. "Kill!" Qin Wentian roared. The millstone-sized palm imprint blasted out, instantly killing half of the enemies. At the same time, the other battle formations in the surroundings also unleashed their attacks. In a short period of time, all the people in the battle formation were killed. The entire battle formation vanished, completely annihilated. At the same time, the battle formations led by Qin Wentian were all extremely powerful. They all fought against the devil cultivators, and in addition to the fact that Qin Wentian destroyed a battle formation, the morale of the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army soared as they roared. "Fight, fight, fight!" A tsunami-like roar rang out from the mouths of the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army. The military governor in the air roared, "Continue to attack them, tear apart their defenses. Kill!" Their roars shook the sky. The people of the Immortal Qianbian Gate disregarded everything and killed their way over. They also knew that they didn't have much time and had to tear apart the defenses of their enemies before rushing in the direction of Han City. The morale of the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army reversed. They were like frenzied bulls and ferocious tigers, swiftly slaughtering their way into the heart of the enemy's formation, tearing apart countless experts. Qin Wentian's battle formation moved towards another battlefield. He didn't deal with a devil battle formation alone but chose to coordinate with an expert from the Battle Saint tribe to surround and destroy a devil battle formation. After 3 fierce attacks, they used a few breaths of time to annihilate the devil battle formation, killing all the experts of the devil battle formation. Nothing could stand in their way. Continue to kill. Qin Wentian's voice was cold. This 5,000-strong army actually dared to slaughter their way into the heart of the Immortal Qianbian Gate's army, daring to face enemies from both the front and back. Undoubtedly, this was because they were an elite army and there was a huge army in front of them, with more coming from the back. They thought that they would be able to cause chaos in the Immortal Qianbian Gate. However, they didn't expect that Qin Wentian would actually lead the experts from the Battle Saint tribe over. The expert from the Battle Saint tribe controlled the battle formation. He had the Battle Saint art and had boundless might. Even God's hand was derived from it, it was a supreme combat art. Even if he couldn't suppress his opponent, he wouldn't be defeated either. As long as he could delay his opponent, the enemy would be trapped in the heart of their army. Qin Wentian continued to attack, destroying the devil army within an extremely short period of time. This caused the expression of the immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate to drastically change. Undefeatable battle formation, retreat. Where do you think you are going? Qin Wentian snorted. His destructive might destroyed yet another battle formation, destroying the immortal foundation experts within it. When he saw the devil army fleeing, Qin Wentian immediately commanded, "Ignore them, follow me." After speaking, he led the experts in the battle formation to deal with the elite battle formation of the Dongshengshan Gate. Under the encirclement of the immortal Qianbian Gate's elite battle formation, the enemy's elite battle formation had no way to defend against them. Very swiftly, many of the enemy battle formations were destroyed, and the situation became one-sided. Fight and retreat, don't panic. Our reinforcements are about to arrive. The immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate roared. Attack! The immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate only had 2 words to describe this. Right now, their combat prowess was at an overwhelming advantage. They wanted to make use of this opportunity to deal a heavy blow to their opponents. With double the number of troops, in addition to the addition of Qin Wentian and the others, they were able to destroy the elite battle formation of the enemy. This battle was starting to become one-sided. The soldiers of the Dongshengshan Gate were losing more and more troops every second. They gradually wanted to gather at one side, fighting and retreating, but their losses were still extremely heavy. Reinforcements have arrived. The immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate spoke. Behind them, tens of thousands of soldiers rushed over from the direction of the immortal Qianbian Gate. Reinforcements. In the air, the immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate mocked. Now that reinforcements have arrived, what's the use? My army of the immortal Qianbian Gate, now that you all have the advantage, why are you afraid of reinforcements? Split up and fight freely. Kill. The morale of the people of the immortal Qianbian Gate surged. That's right, they had already slaughtered half of the army of the Dongshengshan Gate. At this moment, why would they still care about reinforcements? Their numbers were no longer at a disadvantage. So what if they fought with all their might? Many of the troops at the back started to turn around, preparing to welcome the reinforcements. Qin Wentian also turned around. He had already dealt with many of the elite troops of the Dongshengshan Gate. Now, it was time for him to put down the battlefield in front of him. Follow me and kill. Qin Wentian roared, leading the 39 legions to take the lead, slaughtering their way towards the reinforcements that covered the skies and covered the earth. Chapter 1095. The reinforcements from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect didn't form into a 10,000-man formation and rushed over in haste. They gave it their all and rushed over. Only now when they saw Qin Wentian leading his troops over did they halt and form into a battle formation. Qin Wentian had already led the experts from the 39 battle formations here. Taking advantage of the fact that the reinforcements hadn't completed their formation, they directly charged in. The gigantic ox demon was like a demon god, its roars of rage shook the heavens and earth. Terrifying greater demons spat out from the ox demon's mouth, annihilating everything in their path. At the same time, the ox demon's palms slammed down as a demonic dragon roared in rage, slamming into the enemy's formation. It was unknown how many experts were killed in that instant. The other battle formations also erupted forth with tyrannical strength at the same time. The morale of those at the back was greatly boosted when they saw this scene. Their battle intent towered up into the sky as they frenziedly killed their way into the Dongshengshan Gate's army. Before the Dongshengshan Gate could gather their strength to form a battle formation, they had already slaughtered their way into their formation. The elite battle formations of the Dongshengshan Gate were all gathered on the other side of the battlefield. There weren't many elite battle formations here and none of them were able to resist against the powerful formation led by Qin Wentian. The Dongshengshan Gate's army followed Qin Wentian's lead and fought in all directions. The battle was actually one-sided. On the contrary, the weaker side of the Immortal Qianbian Gate had a huge advantage. In the air, the expressions of the immortal kings from the Dongshengshan Gate grew increasingly unsightly. This time around, they were the ones who gave the order to destroy the Immortal Qianbian Gate at all costs. However, things didn't turn out as they wished. On the battlefield, the situation was changing rapidly and their Dongshengshan Gate was now the weaker side. Seems like the Immortal Qianbian Gate didn't send their elite disciples to the battlefield. In the air, the immortal king of the Dongshengshan Gate coldly spoke. He naturally understood that battle formations would ultimately depend on the individual's combat prowess. It would be best if the power of these battle formations could be unleashed by a single person. The stronger the person, the greater the might of the battle formation. Be it the Dongshengshan Gate or the Immortal Qianbian Gate, there would be some elite disciples on the battlefield, forming elite battle formations. Therefore, he organized 5,000 people from the Invincible Legion as a surprise attack and suddenly descended on the battlefield. 5,000 people from the Invincible Legion formed into 50 elite battle formations, which could be of great use on the battlefield. Their appearance even allowed Dongshengshan Gate to use half of its forces to fight against the people from Dongshengshan Gate, and even caused chaos at Dongshengshan Gate. One could imagine how rare it was to have elites. However, the sudden appearance of the 39 battle formation elite armament disrupted everything and reversed the situation of the battle. The realms of the members of the 39 battle formation weren't too high, but the person controlling the formation was definitely extremely powerful. Everyone retreat. The immortal king of the Dongshengshan Gate gave the order to retreat. There was no way for this battle to continue. If they continued to fight, their losses would definitely be greater than the other side. The army of the Dongshengshan Gate began to retreat. How could the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate let go of such a good opportunity? They chased after them in a frenzy. The yellow sand in the sky was dyed red by blood. The setting sun hung high in the sky, yet it was still as red as blood. After the army of the Dongshengshan Gate retreated, the army of the Immortal Qianbian Gate formed a long battle line. Soldiers of the Immortal Qianbian Gate could be seen everywhere. They drew in a deep breath, feeling completely exhausted. However, when they stared into the distance, a trace of a smile could be seen in their eyes. This was a great victory. Their Immortal Qianbian Gate was restricted in every aspect. They had never obtained such a great victory before, killing tens of thousands of enemies and causing the army of the Dongshengshan Gate to flee in a sorry state. In fact, many of their elite battle formations even lost their lives. In the air, a group of experts soared through the air, heading back to the direction of the Immortal Qianbian Gate. They didn't truly want to take down Han City. That was merely a tactic. Now that they obtained a great victory, they naturally had to return to Yuan City. It's the army of Tianwen. The army of Tianwen is so terrifying, even more effective than the elite battle formations. The eyes of the experts in the army flashed with a strange light. This time, it was all thanks to the battle formations led by Tianwen. If not, they would have suffered a crushing defeat. Many of them looked at Qin Wentian with reverence in their eyes. This was a battlefield, and they had even forgotten about Qin Wentian's cultivation base. They had forgotten that many of them had a higher cultivation base than Qin Wentian and were considered seniors. At this moment, they only revere the army that led them to victory. Let's return, we have to prepare a celebratory feast. Everyone returned. At the same time, there were people cleaning up the battlefield. After this battle, Qin Wentian's reputation reached a peak in the army. Everyone knew about the Tianwen battle formation and the Tianwen army. This was an undefeatable army. After this battle, the Dongshengshan Gate didn't take the initiative to attack for a long time. On the contrary, the Immortal Champion Gate would often send their army to provoke them, and there were victories and defeats on both sides. After that, the Immortal Champion Gate's army was reorganized. Qin Wentian's achievements allowed him to be officially appointed as the commander of the Immortal Champion Gate's army. He led a Tianwen army that was composed entirely of elites. There were a total of 3,600 people under Qin Wentian's command. More than half a year had passed since that great victory. In the past, Dongshengshan Gate would always have the upper hand against the Immortal Champion Gate. But now, they couldn't gain any advantage at all. In fact, they didn't even take the initiative to attack. Within the Immortal Champion Gate, a sense of arrogance gradually grew. They were no longer as cautious as before. Many people would often go to the Dongshengshan Gate to challenge them. Today, an army of 1,000 people went to the Dongshengshan Gate, but they never returned. Not a single one of them managed to escape alive. In the army camp, the army supervisor gathered all the commanders for a discussion. In the main hall, Qin Wentian and the other commanders of the Immortal Champion Gate gathered. They were all clad in armor and looked heroic. Qin Wentian's armor shone brightly, but he still wore a mask on his face. He had always been like this in the army, mysterious and unfathomable. Many people didn't even know what this Tianwen army commander looked like. They only knew that his cultivation wasn't high, but his combat prowess was extremely high. His army was invincible. In the battle at the front line just now, all 1,000 soldiers died. The Dongshengshan Gate has formed an ace army. They should be under the direct command of the Dongshengshan Gate. They are here to assist in the battle and eliminate us. I'm afraid that it won't be long before the Dongshengshan Gate launches another round of attack. What do you all think? The army supervisor looked at everyone and asked. Ace army? Are their combat prowess very strong? Someone asked. Very strong, they are all at the 7th level of Immortal Foundation or above. Also, the ones controlling the battle formations have extremely powerful combat prowess. If the Dongshengshan Gate managed to form such an army, we would definitely be in danger. The army supervisor replied. When soldiers come, we'll deal with them. Before this, we forced them back twice and obtained a complete victory once. Now that we've reorganized the Tianwen army, our combat prowess shouldn't be inferior to the Dongshengshan Gate, right? Someone turned his gaze to Qin Wentian. However, there was a hint of dissatisfaction in his voice. Qin Wentian was only at the 2nd level of Immortal Foundation, yet his prestige in the army had already reached the peak. Who didn't know that the Tianwen army was the ace army of the Dongshengshan Gate? The credit for the 2 battles they fought earlier was all because of Qin Wentian, causing some people to be extremely unhappy. Tianwen, what do you think? The army supervisor stared at Qin Wentian as he asked. Fight. Qin Wentian spoke, his words causing the eyes of the army supervisor to flash. He stared at Qin Wentian. Tianwen, speak clearly. Although the Dongshengshan Gate has already recovered its strength, the army of our Immortal Champion Gate isn't inferior in any way. I hope that commander can take the initiative to fight and completely crush the army of the Dongshengshan Gate stationed in Hancheng. If we can obtain such a victory, I believe we would be able to gather even more Immortal Foundation experts to join the war. Qin Wentian slowly spoke. If not, everyone in the 13 prefectures, including the 6 prefectures in the west, would think that we would definitely lose. Although we won a great victory earlier, it wasn't sufficient to raise the morale of our army. If we can occupy Hancheng, the prestige of our Immortal Champion Gate would surely rise to another level. Everyone stared at Qin Wentian in shock. Was this fellow crazy? He wanted to destroy the army of the Dongshengshan Gate and occupy Hancheng in one fell swoop. During these years, the Dongshengshan Gate had always been the one with the initiative, while the Immortal Champion Gate had always been in a passive state of defense. They could only hope that they wouldn't be defeated under the ferocious attacks of the Dongshengshan Gate. But now, Qin Wentian actually wanted to take over Hanqing. Do you really think so? The eyes of the supervising officer flickered as he stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded, the Immortal Qianbian Gate needs a great victory. You're right. But even if we win and occupy Hanqing, the Dongshengshan Gate would surely lead their army to launch a comeback, shocking the world. At that time, we would face even greater pressure. In fact, the Dongshengshan Gate might even launch a great expedition against our 6 prefectures. The army supervisor spoke to Qin Wentian. The Dongshengshan Gate's expedition will happen sooner or later. Senior, do you think we can avoid it? Why don't we use a great victory to announce the might of our Immortal Qianbian Gate? If the Dongshengshan Gate really sends more troops over, we can just retreat. Let's see if they dare to enter the 6 prefectures. Even the number of troops of the Dongshengshan Gate is limited. They are afraid of exhausting their strength. Qin Wentian casually spoke. Fine, I will convey your words to General Niu. If General Niu agrees, we will have to make proper arrangements. The army supervisor smiled. After that, he stood up and walked out, leaving behind Qin Wentian and the other commanders. Those commanders turned their gazes to Qin Wentian. One of their eyes gleamed with sharpness as he spoke. Don't you know that given our combat strength, it's impossible for us to destroy the Dongshengshan Gate's army? Even if you fight to the death, I'm afraid the casualties of the Dongshengshan Gate wouldn't be too far off from us. What do you think we should do? Qin Wentian asked. Wait for an opportunity. The other party replied. Opportunity? There will never be an opportunity. Qin Wentian stood up and walked out as he slowly spoke. The Immortal Qianbian Gate's foundation is too weak against the Dongshengshan Gate. If this continues, the Immortal Qianbian Gate won't stand a chance. We need victory, a great victory, allowing the 6 prefectures to rise again. We need to let the people of the 6 prefectures see that our Immortal Qianbian Gate can defeat the Dongshengshan Gate. Chapter 1096. The Jin prefectures Han City and the Lei prefectures Yuan City welcomed a period of peace. The armies of both sides did not attack again, nor did they call for war. However, this kind of peace made people faintly feel that a terrifying storm was brewing. In the great hall of the Jing prefecture's Han City, the Dream Demon King was actually there. Other than him, there were several other immortal kings as well. Below them, there was a group of young men clad in resplendent golden armor, exuding a terrifying aura. The cultivation bases of these people were all at the peak level of Immortal Foundation. This time around, do you have the confidence to win for sure? The Dream Demon King's voice was lazy. Although a few years to him was a very short period of time, he had yet to conquer Yuan City and even suffered a great defeat. This made the Dream Demon King feel very uncomfortable. Over at the Dongshengshan Gate, there were many immortal kings watching this battle. He felt that he had lost a lot of face. General Dream Demon, don't worry. This time around, there will be no mistakes. Even if our enemies can break through our formation, our individual combat prowess far surpasses them. At that time, we will completely destroy our formation and engage in a chaotic battle, making those who joined the Immortal Qianbian Gate pay a price. A young man below coldly spoke. I naturally believe in your ability. But this time around, we cannot afford to lose again. Right now, our army is recruiting outsiders and the number of people who are willing to join us is decreasing. The Dream Demon King spoke in a low voice. This time around, we will definitely destroy the Immortal Qianbian Gate. That young man spoke. At this moment, the Dream Demon King frowned. After which, a voice drifted over, shameless boasting. This voice was like thunder, shaking the heavens and earth, extremely coarse. Humph, the Dream Demon King coldly snorted. Dream Demon King, come out and fight. A voice rang out in the air, causing the entire Dongshengshan Gate to tremble. This was the voice of General Niu. Was there going to be a war between immortal kings? In the Dongshengshan Gate, countless people inclined their heads only to see numerous immortal kings standing in the air, resembling divinities, unexcelled in the world. This time around, seems like the Immortal Qianbian Gate was going to start a war between immortal kings. The sound of the bugle horn rang out, causing the hearts of everyone to tremble. The army of the 1,000 Transformations Immortal sect had also arrived. This was the signal for the entire army to go to war. This would truly be a war of the entire army, including immortal kings. The Immortal Qianbian Gate actually launched an all-out attack against them. The Immortal Qianbian Gate actually launched an all-out attack. The voice of the Dream Demon King rang out in the army. He stomped on the lower jaw of the Greater Demon Flood Dragon and used both of his hands to prop up the mouth of the Greater Demon Flood Dragon. He let out a thunderous roar as boundless strength gushed forth from him, resembling a human-shaped desolate beast. Puchi! A terrifying roar of misery rang out. The mouth of the Greater Demon Flood Dragon was forcefully torn apart. The young man punched right into the body of the Greater Demon Flood Dragon as a blinding light erupted forth. Destructive energy erupted forth as the screams of the Greater Demon Flood Dragon reverberated through the air as its gigantic body fell from the sky. What a powerful strength, it seems like a greater demon in human form. The hearts of everyone shuddered. The experts from the Immortal Qianbian Gate all let out thunderous cheers. This tyrannical attack was simply too great a boost to their morale. Bzz. At this moment, the dragon spear of the expert from the Dongshengshan Gate shot over. As this spear slashed out, numerous dragon shadows manifested, wanting to devour everything. The young man from the Battle Saint tribe calmly watched everything. He lifted his arm and blasted out explosively, manifesting a golden screen of light that contained a heaven-shaking battle might. The dragon shadows exploded unceasingly. The young man from the Battle Saint tribe stepped out and actually grabbed the dragon spear of his opponent barehandedly. His palms were like indomitable immortal weapons. With a loud roar, he abruptly pulling his opponent over as well. That expert from the Dongshengshan Gate has never seen such a combat method before. His countenance kept changing. Roar! His left hand blasted out, transforming into a dragon spear that manifested a dragon shadow, exuding a heaven-shaking might. It was like he was returning the attack of his opponent back to his opponent, yet the might of his attack wasn't inferior at all. That expert's countenance drastically changed. He gave up on the dragon spear and retreated, but he was still struck by the ferocious attacks, causing him to cough out blood. Boom! The young man from the Battle Saint tribe stepped out, transforming into a beam of light and instantly appeared before his opponent. He punched out with both his fists and with a thunderous boom, the immortal foundation of his opponent shattered as his life force was extinguished. The space around him trembled as he fell from the sky. The army of the Immortal Qianbian Gate roared, cheering for the return of their opponent. What powerful combat prowess! This was truly a humanoid beast, his attacks were simply too tyrannical. Get into formation! The Immortal King from the Dongshengshan Gate shouted. The army started to move into formation. The people from the Immortal Qianbian Gate discovered that the frontmost formation of their opponent was actually controlled by the young man clad in violet gold armor. This was none other than the trump card of the Battle Saint tribe that destroyed their 1,000-man army back then. 9 Dragons Battle Formation. The battle formation of this army was extremely malevolent. An incomparably gigantic demonic dragon appeared. It had 9 dragon bodies and 9 heads. Get into formation. Qin Wentian spoke. After that, the army he commanded started to get into formation. Not long after, an incomparably gigantic divine ape appeared. This divine ape radiated a baleful aura, resembling a war god of the demon world. This battle formation wasn't the one the Immortal Qianbian Gate used. It was a battle formation belonging to the Battle Saint tribe instead. The totem beast of the Battle Saint tribe was none other than the divine ape. This divine ape was clad in resplendent battle armor. Just by standing there, it gave off a feeling of invincibility, causing people to sigh in amazement. In fact, this was the first time the people from the Immortal Qianbian Gate saw the Divine Ape battle formation. They only knew that during these few days, the Heaven Inquisition army had been undergoing special training for battle formations. Seems like it was precisely for this battle formation. Do you dare to fight? The Divine Ape roared, its voice shaking the heavens and earth. This voice was directed at the 9 dragons battle formation. What's there to fear? Fight! The 9 dragons roared in rage as they rushed out. The Divine Ape similarly stomped on the ground, causing rumbling sounds to shake the heavens. Cracks unceasingly appeared on the ground and the entire army could feel the ground trembling. Boundless divine light circulated around the body of the Divine Ape, containing a supreme battle might, like an innate battle demon. The 2 terrifying greater demons moved towards the center of the battlefield, causing the hearts of both armies to tremble. This was a battle between 2 trump card armies, it would surely affect the entire situation. If the Heaven Inquisition army was defeated, the Immortal Qianbian Gate would surely be in danger. Roar! A heaven-shaking roar rang out. The 9 malevolent-looking dragon heads lunged towards the Divine Ape, giving off a feeling of doomsday. Roar! The roar of the Divine Ape was even more terrifying. It stood tall in the sky as the divine glow around it grew even more resplendent. It blasted out with its arms, directly aiming for the 2 dragon heads. After a thunderous boom, the tyrannical force caused the dragon heads to explode. However, when the other 7 dragon heads bit onto the body of the Divine Ape, it felt like they were biting onto the toughest metal. That terrifying light scream contained a fearsome might. Bang! Even so, the body of the Divine Ape trembled. The lines on its body were all damaged. Many people in the battle matrix were also trembling. However, the arms of the Divine Ape blasted out again. With a thunderous boom, another 2 dragon heads exploded. The huge body of the 9 dragons was sent flying. Not good. The expressions of the people in the 9 dragon battle matrix changed drastically. How could this Divine Ape battle matrix be so terrifying? The light circulating around it was simply astonishing. The roars of the Immortal Qianbian Gate army shook the sky, completely suppressing the morale of the army of the Dongshengshan Gate. The Divine Ape battle matrix was too domineering. It could crush and destroy the trump card battle matrix of the opponent. This battle matrix was simply invincible. In the battle matrix of the 9 dragons, a young man had an ugly look on his face. He saw the Divine Ape trampling over the ground, and he took out a magic treasure. The magic treasure emitted an extremely terrifying light. In an instant it rose up into the sky and spread far away, covering the entire sky and earth. A terrifying pressure enveloped the entire battlefield. Qin Wentian discovered that the Divine Ape battle matrix he was controlling was gradually disintegrating. Under the might of that powerful screen of light, all other battle matrices could no longer exist. What do you all mean by this? The Immortal King of the Immortal Qianbian Gate coldly spoke. Use your true strength to fight. This not only destroyed your battle matrix, it also destroyed the battle matrix of my Dongshengshan Gate. This is still a fair battle. The Immortal King of the Dongshengshan Gate replied. If your battle matrix had the advantage, would you say this? Could it be that battle matrices are not considered as strength? The Immortal King of the Immortal Qianbian Gate coldly spoke. He stepped out. The other party coldly snorted, not showing any signs of weakness. 2 immortal kings actually wanted to fight first. The entire battlefield was already out of control. Chapter 1097. 2 immortal kings fought in the air, shooting up into the sky. For this battlefield, there was no one to command them. Other than immortal kings, the others had no way to control an immortal foundation army. At this moment, this chaotic army could only fight on their own. The Dongshengshan Gate's army was long prepared and had a trump card. If it wasn't for the divine ape formation formed by Qin Wentian and the others, their nine-dragon battle formation would have become an invincible weapon that could pierce right into the heart of the immortal Qianbian Gate, influencing the entire battlefield. Right now, because the nine-dragon battle formation was defeated, they took out a powerful treasure they brought with them, causing the entire battlefield to have no way to form a formation. If a formation couldn't be formed, the entire army would engage in a chaotic battle. And in terms of individual combat prowess, the Dongshengshan Gate's army was made up of well-trained soldiers and was clearly stronger. Even before the battle started, they were already in an undefeatable position. Roars rang out unceasingly as the sounds of killing shook the sky. Both armies rushed towards each other. Even if they couldn't form a formation, they could only kill. Qin Wentian floated in the air, surrounded by 36 experts from the Battle Saint tribe, protecting him. The battlefield could change in an instant, they naturally had to follow closely behind Qin Wentian. They mustn't allow Qin Wentian to be in danger. The two armies clashed, immortal arts were unleashed unceasingly as all sorts of innate techniques and techniques clashed against each other. The sky was in chaos, the destructive currents transformed into a terrifying tempest that ravaged this entire space. The commanders of the nine-dragon battle formation were all clad in violet gold armor. They floated in the air and slashed out with their dragon spears. Everywhere they passed by, they were invincible, killing whoever they met. Qin Wentian wasn't in a hurry to fight. He was observing the battlefield. Right now, under the situation where they couldn't even form a formation, they could only fight alone. The strength of a single person wouldn't be able to affect the entire battle. He wanted to see the disparity between the individual combat prowess of the immortal Qianbian Gate and the Dongshengshan Gate. After the full-scale collision, Qin Wentian found that the immortal Qianbian Gate's disadvantage was revealed. They were slightly weaker than the Dongshengshan Gate's army. He had to think of a way to save this battle. Inclining his eyes, Qin Wentian stared ahead. The army of 1,000 transformations immortal sect was invincible, they were still slaughtering their way over. These were all experts with a high cultivation base, the elites of the 1,000 transformations immortal sect. Buzz! Qin Wentian waved his hand, and light flashed. He clapped his hands, and puppet armors opened one by one. Qin Wentian said, "Go in." In the surroundings, the 36 experts from the Battle Saint tribe, as well as Jun Mengchen, Purgatory and the others, all stepped into the puppet armors. Qin Wentian himself also stepped into one. There were over 10 people in the surroundings, all of them were clad in puppet armors. Although they were insignificant compared to the entire battlefield, they still caused the spectators to feel a sense of imposingness. If it wasn't for the fact that he had no other choice, Qin Wentian wouldn't use these puppets. This indicated that he might have to expose his identity. Once his identity was exposed, he would have no way to continue staying at the front lines or he might be assassinated by the immortal kings of the Dongshengshan Gate. In order to kill him, the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor would definitely break the rules. Kill them all together. Qin Wentian spoke as he directly walked towards the elite from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect clad in violet gold armor. MHM. These experts were invincible, leading an army of thousands. Their morale was extremely high as they slaughtered their way into the heart of the immortal Qianbian Gate. At this moment, when they saw Qin Wentian and the others walking over, their eyes flashed. And when the elites of the immortal Qianbian Gate saw Qin Wentian and the others walking over, they couldn't help but feel as though they had found their backbone. They followed behind Qin Wentian and prepared to face the enemies. Kill! Qin Wentian spoke. The 36 experts in the surroundings all radiated a dazzling light at the same time. Battle immortal light circulated around their armors as they blasted out with their palms. Thunderous roars thundered through the air as numerous divine apes soared through the air. Everywhere they passed by, the experts of the Eastern Sage Immortal sect were directly killed. With just a single strike, over 100 experts from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect who were blocking their path were all killed. Elite disciples of the Dongshengshan Gate. Qin Wentian and the others walked towards the experts in violet gold armor as they coldly spoke, "All of you shall die here." After speaking, the group of them stepped out and launched another attack. Numerous divine apes soared through the air, their howls shaking the heavens, their strength capable of destroying the void. Those who wanted to kill them all died instantly. Only those from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect would be qualified to clash head-on with them. Kill. Those experts from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect who were clad in violet gold armor all stabbed out with their spears at the same time. In an instant, a storm of destruction gushed over, wanting to destroy everything. Qin Wentian roared. His puppet-armored body expanded to 10,000 meters, resembling a god of war. Not only for him, the experts from the Battle Saint tribe beside him all unleashed a violent might as their bodies grew towering, resembling ancient divinities. The Battle Saint art was all-encompassing, able to transform into countless life and death techniques. Even if one didn't break through to the Immortal King realm, they would be able to expand their bodies and unleash battle prowess. Also, the puppet-armored bodies on their bodies were specially made. They were extremely flexible and weren't restricted by the size of their bodies. Over 30 terrifying figures stood in the air, peering down at them with disdain. For a moment, everyone on the battlefield turned their gazes over here as shock filled their hearts. Qin Wentian wanted this effect. He had to make their battle the focal point of the entire battlefield, causing the experts of the Dongshengshan Gate to panic, causing the experts of the Immortal Qianbian Gate to have the confidence that they would win for sure. The powerful attacks blasted into the bodies of the puppets, but they only caused their bodies to tremble. There was basically no way for them to be injured. Qin Wentian's puppet-armored palms suddenly glowed with boundless resplendent light. As he stretched his hands out, an indomitable divinity's palm blasted out towards the leader of the enemy's battle formation, covering the heavens and earth, wanting to destroy everything. This is. The experts of the Battle Saint tribe all had looks of terror on their faces as they took out their immortal weapons to defend. However, as the palm imprint blasted down, no one was able to block it. The experts of the Battle Saint tribe beside Qin Wentian all unleashed their killing techniques at the same time. In an instant, this place became a battlefield of destruction. Many of those experts of the Dongshengshan Gate who were clad in violet gold armor instantly died, looking extremely miserable. How can scheming and crafty plots change the situation? This victory ultimately belongs to the strong. The Immortal Qianbian Gate is invincible. Qin Wentian roared and blasted out another palm imprint, killing his opponents. This group of people were like killing gods on the battlefield. Everywhere they passed by, nothing could survive. For those from the Eastern Sage Immortal sect, no matter if they were elites or ordinary characters, only death awaited them. Invincible. An expert from the Immortal Qianbian Gate roared. Invincible. Gradually, the entire battlefield seemed to be infected. The army of the Battle Saint tribe followed Qin Wentian's footsteps, completely suppressing the auras of the Battle Saint tribe. He is Qin Wentian. Kill him, it would be a great merit if we kill him. At this moment, an ear-piercing roar rang out from within the army. Qin Wentian had donned the puppet armor and used the god's hand. Clearly, he would be recognized. For this point, Qin Wentian was already prepared in his heart. Qin Wentian. Many experts of the Dongshengshan Gate weren't unfamiliar with this name. Many years ago, during the 100-year Immortal Banquet held by the Dongshengshan Gate, it was precisely because of Qin Wentian that the Emperor Qianbian appeared. That battle was a symbolic battle that caused the 13 prefectures to split. Hence, there were still many people who knew of Qin Wentian. Even the core disciples of the Dongshengshan Gate knew of him. Tianwen is Qin Wentian. There were many inner disciples of the Immortal Qianbian Gate who had heard of Qin Wentian before. Although Qin Wentian wasn't a famous immortal king or emperor, he had still done many things that could shake the entire immortal realms. Hence, there were many who knew of his name. If he could become an immortal king one day, the number of people who knew of him would surely increase. Even those who weren't from the immortal Qianbian Gate would know of his name. Qin Wentian swept his gaze over and found the person who spoke. It was none other than the person who captured Qin Yao and Luo Huan back then. His silhouette flickered as his gigantic frame soared through the air, appearing before that person. Seeing that person fleeing madly, Qin Wentian roared in rage and blasted out with his palm, covering a vast area. That person only felt the sky above his head turning dark as his body trembled unceasingly. After which, Qin Wentian's palm blasted out, directly smashing that person into pieces. This grudge, Qin Wentian had long wanted to take revenge and had been waiting for an opportunity. But now, that person actually sent himself to his doorstep, courting death. Kill! Qin Wentian inclined his head and roared in rage, his voice shaking the heavens and earth. He took the lead and continued to kill his way forward. With a single step, he could trample a person to death. With a single palm strike, he could annihilate everyone. The experts of the Battle Saint tribe followed after him, opening up a path of slaughter. At this moment, there was no one to supervise the battle. Many people in the army of the Dongshengshan Gate directly turned to flee. After all, many of them were recruited by the Dongshengshan Gate and weren't from the Dongshengshan Gate's faction. At this moment, they didn't want to continue fighting. The battlefield was simply too dangerous. In the battlefield, there was a situation of people fleeing. The army instantly started to crumble. This sort of panic wasn't because of their strength but rather, it was because of the hearts of the people. Although Qin Wentian and the others were powerful, they only relied on their aura to shock the entire battlefield. However, their numbers were too few. If the immortal kings of the Dongshengshan Gate were here, they might still have a chance to stabilize the situation. However, the situation on the battlefield was ever-changing. Most probably, the immortal kings who fled wouldn't have expected that the situation would be settled so quickly. The people of the immortal Qianbian Gate didn't retreat this time around. In such a one-sided situation, how could they not chase after their enemies to the end? In any case, the goal of this battle was to annihilate the army of the Dongshengshan Gate. The Dongshengshan Gate was being hunted down. The disciples of the Dongshengshan Gate started to flee even faster. They didn't want to be embroiled in the battlefield in case the immortal kings wanted to settle scores with them later on. However, Qin Wentian, who had been chasing for a long time, suddenly halted his steps. He and the experts of the Battle Saint tribe returned to their normal size. He stared at the fleeing army as he spoke, "Let's retreat." After speaking, he turned and fled without hesitation. He had won a great victory, but it was destined that he would have to leave this battlefield soon. Chapter 1098. The army of the immortal Qianbian Gate invaded Han City. The army of the Dongshengshan Gate either died or fled. The entire sky above Han City was filled with the army of the immortal Qianbian Gate. All of them let out thunderous roars, celebrating this unprecedented victory. They actually managed to take down Han City, defeating the enemy and occupying a city. They had never imagined that they would be able to defend Yuan City, it was already not bad. In the air, a terrifying pressure bore down. After which, numerous beams of light shot over. These were none other than the immortal kings who fought earlier. At this moment, the auras of the immortal kings fluctuated wildly. Even for the Dream Demon King and General Ox, the two commanders, they all felt a little unnatural. General Ox's robes had completely disappeared, revealing his bronze-colored skin and muscles. Beautifully done. General Ox praised as he stared at the battle below. He only wanted to give it a try, he didn't expect that Qin Wentian would actually succeed. The Dream Demon King turned ashen. His army of immortal kings couldn't even defeat his opponents, and the army of Immortal Foundation experts were all defeated. Yuan City was utterly defeated. How would he answer to the Dongxing Heaven Emperor? Dream Demon King, Han City is now mine. You guys can scram back to the Dongshengshan Gate now. General Ox spoke. The Dream Demon King wanted nothing more than to kill all the Immortal Foundation experts below. However, he didn't dare to casually break the rules of the Immortal War. Unless the Dongxing Heaven Emperor gave the order, he wouldn't act on his own. If not, if both sides broke the rules, that would be the doomsday of the juniors. Let's go. The Dream Demon King gave the order to retreat. His silhouette flashed as he left this place. Their departure meant that Han City already belonged to the Immortal Qianbian Gate. In fact, they could even continue to penetrate deeper and conquer the entire Jing Prefecture. However, the Jing Prefecture was simply too vast. Now that both sides were in the midst of an immortal war, it was impossible for him to split his troops to govern it. That was a golden age, only the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures could govern it like this. Now that he invaded the Jing Prefecture, there was no way he could devour it. Unless one day, the Dongshengshan Gate no longer existed. The main purpose of an immortal war wasn't to fight for territory. Rather, it was to destroy one's opponents and strengthen oneself. This great victory has come at the right time. General Ox looked down and said, "Return to Yuan City and reward them according to their contributions." "Yes, General." Everyone bowed and it was a celebratory scene. General Niu didn't choose to occupy Han City and instead ordered the army to return to Yuan City. The army returned in triumph. Those elite soldiers were at the very front and were the center of attention. However, everyone knew who the true deciding factor of this battle was. Yi Qin looked at the mighty army, but there was no sign of Qin Wentian. She murmured, "Qin Wentian." His name wasn't Tianwen but Qin Wentian instead. It was rumored that he was the personal disciple of the Emperor Qianbian. After this great victory, Yuan City didn't let down their guard. They continued to recruit troops and the news of this great victory spread to all the major cities of the Thunder Prefecture. More and more Immortal Foundation experts rushed to Yuan City to join the war. However, the Dongshengshan Gate also started to organize an army to kill their way back. Both sides used the Yuan River as a boundary and the immortal war continued for a long time. Naturally, all of this happened after that. In the Immortal Qianbian Gate, Qin Wentian brought a group of people back and this caused quite a commotion. After all, Qin Wentian only brought a few people with him back to the battlefield. Now, the number of people he brought with him had increased, causing many to feel puzzled. After returning to the Immortal Qianbian Gate, Qin Wentian met with the white-robed Immortal King, Bai Wuya. Right now, Bai Wuya was in charge of the war between the Immortal Qianbian Gate and the Dongshengshan Gate. His authority in the Immortal Qianbian Gate could be said to be towering. Many people in the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures were discussing that the lone wolf, Bai Wuya, would actually join the Immortal Qianbian Gate. This matter even caused quite a commotion among the immortal kings of the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures. Many people didn't understand why Bai Wuya wanted to get involved in this muddy water. After all, immortal kings were all old freaks that had lived for countless years. Who didn't know that it would be best if he didn't want to help either side? There was always a risk in joining either side. They guessed that Bai Wuya might have a great desire for power and wanted to rule over an entire region. Now that he was helping the Emperor of Qianbian, in the future when he breaks through to the Immortal Emperor realm, there was a high possibility that he would succeed the Emperor of Qianbian and become the ruler of this vast region. Naturally, there were also people who guessed that the white-robed Immortal King wanted to use this immortal war to temper himself. He chose the weaker Emperor of Qianbian because he wanted to prove his capabilities, allowing himself to grow stronger in the immortal war. Before Qin Wentian even arrived, a white-robed figure already walked over. The white-robed figure walked towards him and spoke, "You only went to the battlefield for 2 years and you are already back. My identity was exposed. If I continued to stay here, I'm afraid the people of the Dongshengshan Gate would break the rules and act against me." Qin Wentian replied. "MHM," Bai Wuya nodded. He glanced at the people behind Qin Wentian. Although these people were all Immortal Foundation experts, the auras they exuded were all extraordinary. Qin Wentian and Bai Wuya were both disciples of the immortal Qianbian Gate. He didn't go to the Emperor of Qianbian but came to Bai Wuya instead. There was a reason for him to do so. He wanted to hide the identities of these people from the Battle Saint tribe, and the Emperor of Qianbian should know that he and Bai Wuya belonged to the same power. After all, there were many people from the Heavenly Talisman realm joining the immortal Qianbian Gate. Hence, if these people came from the Heavenly Talisman realm, the Emperor Lord wouldn't even care about it. Senior brother, they are all disciples of Emperor Yi and are now following me. This concerns the secret of Emperor Yi. Qin Wentian transmitted his voice to Bai Wuya. How could Bai Wuya not understand Qin Wentian's meaning? He replied, I will help you keep this secret. There's no need for you to worry about the Emperor Lord. It's fine as long as everyone misunderstands. As for the people outside, they would also misunderstand. A smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. In the immortal realms, his relationship with Bai Wuya could be considered very close. In fact, it was even closer compared to his relationship with the Emperor of Qianbian. He met Bai Wuya in a particle world, and after he came to the immortal realms, Bai Wuya led him to the Heavenly Talisman realm and they became fellow disciples of the same sect. Bai Wuya was his introducer and their relationship was extraordinary. Qin Wentian also trusted Bai Wuya very much. He also understood Bai Wuya's meaning. As long as Bai Wuya helped him keep this secret, the Emperor Lord's subordinates would misunderstand that they came from the Heavenly Talisman realm to follow Qin Wentian. As for the people outside, they would only think that they were from the immortal Qianbian Gate. Recently, there were many geniuses with extraordinary talent in the immortal Qianbian Gate. There was nothing special about having another 30 or so geniuses who cultivated the same type of energy. Only Bai Wuya understood that it was fine as long as others misunderstood. What are your plans for the future? Bai Wuya asked. I originally didn't plan for you to enter the battlefield so soon. This battle will be very long. When you break through to the immortal king realm, you might be able to become an important force on the battlefield. In that case, I will cultivate for a period of time first. Qin Wentian spoke. Okay, go ahead. Bai Wuya nodded. Qin Wentian and the others bid their farewells and returned to their lodgings. On the way there, they met Lin Xian'er. She was still as charming as ever, exuding a gentle aura. Her smile was innately charming, truly a stunner. Sir Qin, you have returned. Lin Xian'er smiled when she saw Qin Wentian. Xian'er didn't go out. Qin Wentian smiled. I often roamed the world outside, but I discovered that my strength is truly too weak. I often. Lin Xian'er nodded. Let's not talk about this anymore. Xian'er still has to work hard in her cultivation. That's only natural. Qin Wentian smiled and nodded. Oh yes, does Sir Qin lack any maids to serve you? Xian'er can go. Lin Xian'er's charming eyes were like silk as she spoke in a gentle voice. Her gaze was so beautiful that it could cause one's soul to flutter. Qin Wentian hurriedly shook his head. Xian'er, don't mess around. How would I dare to treat you as a maid? But Xian'er is willing. Lin Xian'er's voice seeped into one's bones. Qin Wentian bitterly smiled. Xian'er, you can roam the world by yourself. I will return first. After speaking, he directly brought his men and left. Lin Xian'er stared at the back view of Qin Wentian as a smile appeared on her face. She still couldn't forget the scene in the particle world where Qin Wentian used himself to exchange for her. Back then, how good would it be if she could meet him earlier? Qin Wentian settled the members of the Battle Saint tribe down. The talent of these people was extraordinary. They were all people born for battle and would be of great help to him in the future. In terms of talent, all of them were qualified to join the Heavenly Talisman realm. It was just that Qin Wentian didn't plan to allow the members of the Battle Saint tribe to join the Heavenly Talisman realm. The strength of the Heavenly Talisman realm was too vast and mysterious. The Battle Saint tribe was a power that belonged solely to him. After the arrangements were made, Qin Wentian returned home. However, he didn't see Qincheng. When he walked to the cultivation ground, he saw Qincheng with her eyes closed in cultivation. She had no distractions in her heart. Even when she was cultivating, she was still as beautiful as ever, exuding a serene aura. After Qin Wentian baptized Mo Qincheng with the sacred luminance, she was extremely hard-working in her cultivation and her rate of improvement was extremely fast. After all, she was still at the celestial phenomenon realm, it was very easy for her to improve. She wasn't like Immortal Foundation, where it would take several years to break through. To many Immortal Foundation experts, it would take hundreds or thousands of years for them to break through. Qin Wentian had a perfect saint-grade Immortal Foundation and his Immortal Foundation was incomparably stable. He only used a few years to break through to the second level of Immortal Foundation. They quietly sat down at the side of the cultivation ground. Qin Wentian didn't disturb Mo Qingqing's cultivation. Only after several days did Mo Qingqing's aura fluctuate. She opened her eyes and saw Qin Wentian with a single glance. A sweet smile appeared on her face as she asked, "Why didn't you call me? You are too beautiful, I couldn't bear to disturb you." Qin Wentian stood up and smiled. What a glib tongue. Did you flirt with other girls outside? A mischievous look appeared on Mo Qingqing's face as she walked towards Qin Wentian. I just returned from the battlefield, how can I flirt with other girls? Qin Wentian had a bitter look on his face. Do you think I don't know your capabilities? Mo Qingqing smiled. What do you know? Qin Wentian grabbed her arm and hugged her tightly, causing Mo Qingqing to let out a cry of surprise. However, a blissful smile could be seen on her face. Let me show you my capabilities. Qin Wentian carried Mo Qingqing up and walked towards the room. The two of them laughed and played, appearing extremely lovey-dovey. However, Qin Wentian didn't know that at this moment, in the boundlessly vast eastern regions of the Immortal Realms, in the neighboring region of the Evergreen Kingdom, there was a gigantic power, the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom. Right now, a group of powerful envoys was heading towards the Evergreen Kingdom.